I met you in the morning, summertime. The skies were warm and golden, mid-July. I dove into the blue in your eyes. I'm holding on to you, yeah. All of the nights in my room were lonely, and all that I wanted was you to hold me. I lay here and talk to the moon. She told me I should never let you go. Close your eyes, stay the night. I keep falling by your side. Watch the tides hold me, darling. All that I wanted was you. I know that you're feeling it too. Close your eyes, stay the night. Hold me, darling. Hold me, darling. Hold me, darling. You took me to the ocean, 2 a.m. The air was cool and golden in the end. I'll hold on to the sweatshirt that you left. I'm holding on to you, yeah. All of the nights in my room were lonely, and all that I wanted was you to hold me. I lay here and talk to the moon. She told me I should never let you go. Close your eyes, stay the night. I keep falling by your side. Watch the tides hold me, darling. All that I wanted was you. I know that you're feeling it too. Close your eyes, stay the night. Hold me, darling. Hold me, darling. Hold me, darling. Close your eyes, stay the night. I keep falling by your side. Watch the tides hold me, darling. All that I wanted was you. I know that you're feeling it too. Close your eyes, stay the night. Hold me, darling.
I woke up right side of the bed, I got good views on my brain. Sun shining on my face, birds singing out my name. Got rhythm in this soul, I'm kick drum on the beat. This world's so colorful like a purple tangerine. Can't bring me down, can't bring me down, no, not today. Can't bring me down, everything's going my way. Yeah, it feels too good, like a picture perfect day. So bright, so righteous, hug your mama, wanna say, praise the Lord, hallelujah, feel that electricity. So no matter what happens, I'm gonna be happy. Up here on top of the world, you see everything. Daytime a color swirl, not like a diamond ring. I got feelings in these bones, they know a trick or two. So put down your little phone, I'm calling out to you. Can't bring me down, can't bring me down, no, not today. Can't bring me down, everything's going my way. Yeah, it feels too good, like a picture perfect day. So bright, so righteous, hug your mama, wanna say, praise the Lord, hallelujah, feel that electricity. So no matter as I got breath in my lungs, when the day is done, I'm gonna be happy. Long as I got breath in my lungs, when the day is done, I'm gonna be happy. Long as I got breath in my lungs, when the day is done, I'm gonna be happy. Long as I got breath in my lungs, I'm happy. Feels too good, like a picture perfect day. So bright, so righteous, hug your mama, wanna say, praise the Lord, hallelujah. Feel that electricity. So no matter what happens, I'm gonna be happy. Long as I got breath in my lungs.
You hold me close, tell me that you can read my mind. How do you get to know how I feel inside? 'Cause I didn't take you there. Oh baby, get out my head, get out my head. Take me away, take me away. Don't wanna see it fade out. Take me away, take me away. Don't wanna hear it out loud. 'Cause you keep us undercover, out of sight. And it's true, no one can discover all your lies, all your lies. Take me away, take me away. Don't wanna see it fade out. Take me away, take me away. Don't wanna hear it out loud. Take me away, take me away. Don't wanna see it fade out. Take me away, take me away. Don't wanna hear it out loud.
My heart stop beating like it used to. Used to be so numb, but not next to you. You got me feeling some type of way. Was never alone, but I always felt so lonely. Was surrounded by, but I was so lonely. But when I met you, my heart turned from stone to gold. And when I'm with you, this feeling I can't control. I never wanna lose this feeling. I'd do anything tonight to lose you. Yeah, I'd do anything, yeah, I'd do anything. Baby, I'd do anything for you. Do anything for you. soul to go. And when I'm with you, this feeling I can't control. Yeah, I never wanna lose this feeling. I'd do anything tonight to lose you. Yeah, I'd do anything. Yeah, I'd do anything. Yeah, baby, I would do anything for you.
Hello, our Time to Thrive Challenge family. You know what time it is. It's time to get some energy inside your body and show us what it looks like to thrive. We've got 30 seconds until we begin the 4th day of this magic. Show me what you got. Beautiful job. What do you bring in? What do you got today? Day 4. And my friends, it's officially time to begin the 4th day of the Time to Thrive Challenge. Welcome, everybody. I got a question for you. How are you feeling? Because it's just your life you're creating. Are you thriving? Are you feeling good? Shake the body out. Let's warm ourselves up for a beautiful day of thriving. Yes. Yes. All right, shake the body out. Let's move it around. So good. Nice job. Beautiful, Maria. Yes, Freddie. Yes, Jaqueen. Yes, Derek. Yes, Cheryl. Good to see you guys. Well, I gotta tell you, okay? It's the 4th day of this amazing experience, and my heart is feeling so swollen. And I wanna just give you guys a group hug. Can you come in here, please? Just get in here. I gotta give you a group hug because I just love you, and I love your passion, and I love your dedication. I know I've only had a couple minutes with you guys at the start of every day, but I just feel like we are becoming a family. We started 4 days ago as complete strangers, a global community, over 900,000 of you from around the world, and together over the last 4 days, so far, we've been on a journey of discovering parts of ourselves that we're tapping into for the first time. And I saw someone make a post last night in the Facebook group about how proud they were that they're showing up for themselves. And it made me stop and think how fast life can go and how often we forget to just acknowledge ourselves for putting ourselves first, to tap in and tune in and listen to ourselves, thanking ourselves for showing up for ourselves and really making life worth living. And we're realizing together, for some of you, the first time in a long time, that putting yourself first like this can create a life beyond what you've ever thought was possible. And if you need to take a moment right now to deep breath in, deep breath out, and what you've done. Because when we started this thing, we said, some of you start things all the time, and you may not finish them. And here you are on the 4th day of this challenge, custom designed by the 2 greatest minds the industry has ever seen. And you brought yourself back for another day. I always say, it's just your life you're creating, because it is your one shot at this beautiful life. And I want to acknowledge each and every one of you that are putting yourself first, because there's nothing better than that in life. So congratulations. I love you. So big, so big. I also want to congratulate those of you in our Project Next Thrive edition. Holy smokes, you guys are going to be absolutely blown away. I told you on day 1 that I've been working with Tony and Dean for about 4 years, and I've been able to see what's in this Thrive edition, and it's really every single thing that they've taught me in my journey. So it honestly touches my heart in a deep place to know that each and every one of you get to design your life like that. So if you need a little nudge from me to get in there and make it happen for yourself, know that it has the KK stamp of approval. I love Tony and Dean, and there's literally no one else in the world that you could possibly do this with. It's your one life, and this is your one shot, and this is your moment and your time, and it's the perfect opportunity. So again, congratulations to those of you. I see you in the chat box. I'll see you in there. I can't wait to have this experience with you guys, okay? But we got a big day, so shake the body out, shoulders back, and let's do a quick recap like we always do at the start of the day. Day 1 was all about psychology, which again, you heard Tony and Dean say, 80% of your success is living right up here between your eyeballs. You learned what this industry is, how you can maybe fit into it. You blasted through some limitations or beliefs, and the thought that was in the back of your mind was like, I can maybe do this. Then we brought you back on the second day, and we took that 10% of you thinking, I can maybe do this, and we showed you, let's make it more real. Here's your dot. Here's how you can find who you're going to serve, and here's what you're going to serve them with, what knowledge you have to offer. And then we helped you tap into a state of thriving. And then that thought in the back of your mind was like, I think I can do this, to, holy moly, I will do this. I really will do this. And then we brought you back for the third day, and you're like, could it possibly get any better? And we were like, absolutely, yes, it can. The most important day you had experienced so far was yesterday, where we taught you about the #1 skill set that you need to thrive in any economy, in any business, and it's the thing that moves everything around the world, and that is sales. And sometimes we have a feeling about it, but we wanted to transform that and really recognize that you're serving the world. You're enrolling the world into a future that's going to benefit and support them. And then that thought in your mind went from, I can do this. You know what? I will do this. And then yesterday you were like, gosh, dang it, I must do this. Because your life is available to you, and there are so many opportunities right now in this economy, in this moment, to set yourself up to thrive. And now you're thinking, how could it possibly get any better? And I'm so excited to welcome you guys to day 4 because I really, really adore and love this day. Today is where you learn how to find these people. There's this quote from a movie, Field of Dreams, that I love, and they say, build it and they'll come. And I learned from Dean very early on when I met him, that's just not the truth. And he's like the #1 marketer in the world. And he says, if you want people to find your product, your offering, you have to generate what's called traffic, okay? I want you to think of a really crowded like highway and all of those cars there. It's like, what if all of those people were coming to you to find your product or your service or your offering? And that is what today is about. And before we even get into it, I just want to share with you something personal that I learned from Tony and Dean and the collection of them being able to mentor me in my life that transformed everything. And I learned it in 2019 at the back half of the year. And it started with Tony, and then Dean reinforced it, but it was this term identity. And Tony says the strongest force of a human being is to remain consistent with how you identify yourself. Humans will do absolutely anything to remain consistent with how they identify themselves. Think of someone that's like a vegan. Where are my vegans at in here? You're like, I am vegan, right? And if I asked a vegan if they'd eat a burger, they'd say no, because why? They'd say, because I am vegan. So they know who they are in their core, in their gut. Therefore, they know what actions to take in their life and how to be in alignment with who they are. When we're in this moment of shifting, when our identity is expanding into something new, like right now you guys are seeing new possibilities for you. There's a part of you that you've practiced being for a long time, and there's this new part of you that's being birthed over this 5-day experience. And what has to happen for you to get from where you are to where you want to be, or your next level, is you can't just paint a picture of it. It's got to change in your gut. It's got to change in the mind. It's got to change in the identity. Because imagine this. If you try to live a life over there with the mental thoughts, beliefs, emotions, actions, behaviors of the person you practice being for however many years on earth you've been, it will be impossible for you to make the link, the jump. So how do you do this right now? You embody the state of the identity, the thriving state that you want to be in, immediately right now, and you start to coach yourself to put a new lens on, a new pair of glasses that say, when I look out of this lens, this is the way I'll think, this is the way I'll act, this is the way I'll decide. And you coach yourself. And every time you overcome the old way of thinking to the new, to the thriving state, that is transformation. So I thought, how fun would it be if we practiced it together today? Everyone sit in a state like you're thriving. Shoulders back, head up, put a freaking smile on your face. Make the face and the body positions and the energy that you would be making if you're thriving in your business and creating this economy of yours. This is exactly it. And today, for the rest of the day, let's create a new standard, a new story, a new level of decision making and thought and action that we produce in ourselves and coach ourselves. Because this is what the journey is all about. If I've got your commitment to do this together, all in today, say yes. Amazing. So I love to give you a couple reminders. Cameras on, hydrate, take notes like crazy. We've got some amazing prizes at the end of the day, so stay all out. Do not miss a second today, especially. and then let's crank our energy one last time. Warm that body up, my friends. Today we're taking it to another level. Are you ready? If you're physically capable of standing up, go ahead and do so. Get into that little bit of a ready position, if you will. And at any moment, that music's just going to blast off, and you're going to have to just unleash yourself. Are you ready? At any moment, it might turn. There it is. Come on. You got it. Let's go. Let me see you move. Yes. Day 4. Yes. All right, my friends, you're amazing. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your dedication. Thank you for playing all out. Let's get this beautiful day started. Welcome to day 4.
Crank the energy, make some noise. Please help me welcome back to the stage, Dean Graziosi.
Hey guys, welcome to day 4. What's up, Paul Wright? Good to see you. Hey, Catherine Harvey. Good to see you today. Hey, Rod, what's going on? Bob Murphy, good to see you. Hey, Tom and Chandra. Kathleen, what's going on? I see you, Cecilia. Martha Soto, what's up, Martha Soto? Amy and Luis and Beverly. Brian's got it going on. Brian's got it. So does Dawn. Dawn's got it going on. Look at Sylvie Martin just crushing over there. Hey, Nicole. Tresty, good to see ya. What is going on? Hey, everybody. Welcome to day 4. All right. You guys ready to start day 4? And I appreciate KK always doing such a great job starting this day off. Let me tell you real quick about today. Today, this is how my brain thinks, and KK already said it, you know, going from I think I could do this to I could do this to I know I can do this to I must do this, right? Same kind of thing, but the way my crazy brain works is each day, I think people start off like day 1, like, all right, Tony Dean, let me know. And then you get done with day 1, you're like, wow, this is pretty cool. But I don't know what I'm going to offer. I'm not dialing. And then you go into day 2, and by the end of day 2, you're like, oh, well, I could do that. Right? And then day 3, it's like, I'm not sure I could sell it. And hopefully day 3, sales is service. I saw it everywhere. I can't wait to talk about the homework you guys did. Hopefully you got done with yesterday, and it's just a glimpse, but you got to say, oh, well, with a little more practice, I could do that. Today, what I want to do is the next logical thing. There's 2 things. What if no one knows my name? I don't have anybody that's following me, right? And number 2 is, how the hell do I teach it? How the heck? How about we go with heck? How the heck would I teach it? So today, I want to bust both of those myths and give you a glimpse into your future. So at the end of today, I want you to go, oh, I could teach it like that, and I could build it like that. We're going to do a hot seat. Who'd like to do a hot seat with me today? And we walk through your niche and what you're doing. In fact, in the chat right now, put your niche in and what you're thinking you're going to teach on, whether it's yoga or health or life or women or help, whatever it is you're doing, put it in the chat. We'd love to see it because our team, we're going to pick somebody later. Look at them all coming in. So amazing. But today, when you're done, I want you to go, well, I could do that. And then tomorrow, oh my God, we tie it all together. I was on the phone till late last night with Mr. Tony Robbins. He's going to crush it tomorrow. Don't miss a second of tomorrow. We have a special guest tomorrow as well that I absolutely love and adore. A couple other things I wanted to share. Especially, I watched so many videos again last night and some more this morning. And look at all these beautiful, overcoming anxiety, art, education, family, wealth, wellness, life coaching. So many cool things, right? If this is the day that it feels like, I like it, but it's a little uncomfortable, I'm not sure, then congratulations. I want to say that again because our biggest breakthroughs always come when we start to feel that emotion. If you do the thing you always do, you never feel that anymore. If you never feel nervous about starting something, that means you're not pushing yourself. You know, I love that quote with Sarah Blakely. She started Spanx, right? And if you ever watched any of her speeches, I love Sarah Blakely. And you know what? One of the best gifts her dad gave her is that if she ever came home and went weeks during school and didn't talk about failure, he'd like, Sarah, what have you failed at lately? And if she said, I didn't fail at anything lately, he'd say, why not? You're not pushing yourself. You're doing what's comfortable. Like, whoa, is that what a billionaire's dad says to a little girl that makes her just a badass, for lack of a better word? Like, she equates so much of her success that failure wasn't a bad thing. Her dad was like, you didn't fail, hun. What are you doing? You're getting comfortable. So no, and I said this yesterday, but when you're feeling like, can I really do this? Is this really for me? Can I go all in? That's that last minute resistance. Russell had his theory, right? The journey that you're called to right before you leave. You don't know if you can, right? So I just want to say, if you're feeling a little uncomfortable, congratulations. You're moving outside of a comfort zone and leaning into something new. And I'd say keep leaning in. You're with an amazing family here that all care. But before I go, it's the same thing. These are all unplanned mornings. It's because of the amazing videos you guys shot. I got to talk about a few of them. Today, before I get to that, we have a guest that's going to help you in a way that's going to blow your mind. Her name is Rachel Miller. If you don't know her, you're going to know her soon. She's so amazing. Mom of 6, right where so many of you are, right there. Just a few years ago, she was you. And what she's going to share today, I promise you, could be the most profound things you learn. And today, you also get a great interview with Matthew McConaughey that I think you're going to absolutely love. It's going to be fun. But before we get into the training, and the first thing I'm going to do is take away and share with you how to gain the crazy amounts of confidence in teaching it and give you a framework called the Story, Teach, Action Method. I'm going to call it the STA framework. That just sounded cool. I just made that up. But Story, Teach, Action Framework. But I want to share, I went through and watched so many of your videos last night. And I was watching you for the first time, and I was watching people scared and nervous, and I loved all of them. Oh my God, it was amazing. And if you didn't get a chance to do it, it's okay. Take the uncomfortable action and do it. Do it on your own phone. Record it for yourself, because I was watching people. I watched Maddie, a 21-year-old student, and I'm so proud of you. She talked about lipstick. She sold me lipstick on how it could be a confidence changer for my daughter and my wife, and how she was being so vulnerable, and some days you have bad days. It was amazing, Maddie. I'm not kidding you. You did an incredible job. She said she's always feared sales, and she shared for the first time ever. I smiled the whole time, Maddie. Thumbs up. Anna, a new way to set goals. I loved your energy. Rosie Batista, you had an idea I really liked. I even showed my team. She said, how cool would it be if, she said, I love sales as service. And she said, you changed my framework on it. I love it. She goes, but sometimes in a month or 2 months, I might forget. She said, what if you made cards with all your quotes on how to turn sales into service? And right before you go into a meeting, before you sell, you could look at your playing cards. I was like, that's a pretty cool idea. Love it. Love it, Rosie. Great job. You sold me on that. Randy pitched on a bottle of water. It was so good. I want to tell you, you even stacked it. It was great. I watched so many. I hear you saying, did you see mine? Did you see mine? I watched more than you could imagine, and it was so cool. There was one. I have to share something here. In fact, I'm going to play one right now. And I don't know if I'll play the whole thing, but I'm going to play some of it. And I thought it was really cool, and I'm gonna break something down to you when it's done. Can we go ahead and play Eric Troth? Go ahead and play that.
Hey, Dean. What's up? What's up? Eric Troth here. Awesome being with you this week. You know, when I first saw your video package, I went, oh my God, this guy is a fly fisherman also. And it's like, here's this picture of you. You're out on the mountain lake with your son. You're in your waders. You're out in the water. You're holding your son's hand, and he's casting out into the lake. Awesome distance for a young fellow, by the way. That's so cool. You must be really proud of him. You know, I so relate to that. I grew up with fly fishing. I bonded primarily with my dad through fly fishing, and so I know what it's about. And, you know, I know it means the world to you. to be out there on those waters and the lakes and streams with your son. I could picture you like when he was young. You probably had your hand on top of his hand, showing him the movements of the fly rod, or maybe picking up the rocks in the river and looking at the bugs under there. And this is what the fish are eating. It's such an awesome sport, and such an incredible way for a father and son to be bonding together. I mean, it could be fathers and daughters, but I know that in this case it's you and your son. So just want you to know that I really get what that means. I was blessed myself to have a father who loved this sport, and not only that, was an acknowledged master in the art of fly fishing, and particularly fly tying. He was the originator of many popular patterns, things that have become standards that are known worldwide. I'm certain that you've got some elk hair caddis in your box, don't you? Probably a lot of other patterns of his as well. So my father, he passed away 10 years ago, and I'm finally ready to start offering a couple of his coveted shadow box fly displays. This is something that we haven't put on the market for well over 15 years. I was just totally back burner, but it's time. And these are art pieces. These are something that are cherished by collectors. And with you, Dean, in particular, I just know that you can appreciate how a collection of flies like that can be the embodiment of the work of a master, and it has deep meaning. And so just invite you to imagine what it's like to have one of those shadow box.
Could we please give it up for Eric? Oh my God. So here's what I want to tell you. The reason I chose Eric, first of all, Eric, I will be reaching out to you. So you sold me. Done. Sold. I see a purchase in my near future. I love being sold to. More than anything in the world. I've learned to, as you can see, I've learned to fall in love with selling, because think about this. Did he look like a hype man? Was he out there, let me tell you about these flies, right? We have this wrong perception on let me tell you some of the things he did. I went back to yesterday's notes. We talked about the science and the art. Park the science. It's all in the art. Let's talk about, first one is enter conversations in my head. You don't think I have conversations in my head all the time about my son and about bonding with my son and making sure I'm doing the things that connect us forever? Solve problems they have. Yeah, there's a problem. I'm super busy. He's busy. He's 13 years old right now. He's doing things. There's a problem I have. I want more connected time with my son. I do. I'll tell you right now, I could cry right now thinking about it. I want more time with him, right? It's solve a problem and share a path to their goals. He shared a path. I could get these flies. I could tell the history about it. He got into my heart, right? Want versus need. I want those flies because I want my son to do this because it's such an amazing thing. It's the only sport, and I don't do it as much as I'd like. It's the only thing I do, and I honestly do it once or twice a year, right? I want to do it more. But I need it. I need it for me because I work 70 hours a week because I love what I do for a living, so I don't feel like it's work. But my wife's like, you need to go do something. So it was a reminder of that, right? People buy from me when they feel understood. Man, that guy understood me. He understood fly fishing. Listen, he even got so good as I could picture you with your hand on your son's hand, helping him cast. Dude, so good. You didn't act like a salesman. You served me. Do you guys feel that? Did you see it? Did you feel awkward by that in any way? Not even a little. I am so buying some of the stuff he has because it'll anchor me into this moment right here. And when I see that, and if it's a trophy piece, if it's an art piece, it'll be on the wall. Every time I walk by it, I'm like, damn it, I got to book a fly fishing trip with my son. I don't care how busy I am. How beautiful is that? I can't wait to buy this from him. When you feel that way, everything changes. I feel that way about Project Next yesterday. It's why I described it to you the way I did. And I'll feel like I'm doing you a disservice if you don't get enrolled. Fall in love with what you do. You'll never sell another day in your life. Eric, one more time. Great job. And I wanted to show that. I wanted to show that to you guys, because I want you to see how truly easy it could be. How truly easy it could be when it comes from your heart, not from the wrong place, right? So congratulations, good stuff. So many of you, congrats on the homework. Okay, before we get started, a couple things. One, I would love for you, because during this journey, as you're learning these new skills, right? Isn't it so cool watching speakers talk about different things, but they're kind of similar, right? Old you, new you, transformation, new perspective, new, taking the journey, the hero's journey. It's all kind of the same stuff. Like, you're here because you want to go from where you are to where you can go, right? We all agree. Are we all meant for more? We all can agree on that. 100% we're all meant for more. So we know if we're meant for more, that means we have to take a journey from where we are to where we're going. That's just a fact. If you do the same thing for the next year, you will get the same results. So we must take uncomfortable action. This is the time when people say, I need it, I want it, but I'm not sure I'm going to do it. You don't get bold. You got to be bold. You got to step into it. So I learned a lot of this from Tony and my dear friends and Brendan and so many people that I've bought their courses and trainings and been through it, and they're partners of mine and friends, is we have to get as much leverage as we can to boldly go forward. Some of you, leverage might be, I need to be the man or woman God designed me to be. I need to retire my parents. I need to take care of my spouse. I need to take care of me for once. I need to live into who I am. Whatever we need is leverage. I don't want to get to the end of my life and realize that I left it on the table. Like, I played small. Like, you don't get a second chance. I don't know what yours is, but you need those things during when life tries to pull you back who you used to be. You need something that goes, I'm not going back. I wasn't happy there. I wouldn't have been on those 5 days. I wouldn't be involved in this program. I wouldn't be thinking about it. If I was happy with where I was, I still would be there. So we have to do everything in our power to get uncomfortable. And I love this. I heard this 2 decades ago, and I think about it all the time. We must be disturbed with inaction. We got to be disturbed with inaction. Because life will try to get us to play small. Stay on the path. You should be happy. Don't you feel blessed with your life the way it is? We should be blessed. We're all here today. But it doesn't mean you can be happy. I think the opposite of that. I think you have potential, whether you believe it's God. I believe in God, but it could be whoever you believe your maker is, gave you a full potential. We're supposed to utilize it, not leave it on the table. So I want to share something really quick before I start teaching today. And I do this all the time. I would love tonight, when you have time, or when we're done with this challenge, or right before we start, those of you in Project Next, before we start training next week, take a minute and just visualize a year from now. I know you've heard this before. This is not a New Year's resolution or a goal. But what if it was a year from now, and we were back here, and we were celebrating our 1-year anniversary of meeting Michelle Webb, or meeting Paul Wright, and everybody's here, and Cheryl and Nisha, right? We had a 1-year celebration. You were showing up, and you could not wait to turn your camera on. You couldn't wait to turn your camera on because it was the best year of your life. Like, oh my God, I cannot believe the last year of my life. You know that feeling, like when you walk in a room, Cecilia, you walk in a room and your girlfriends go, damn, what's up with her, right? Like that confidence where you're just feeling it. If we could say it's a year from now, and it was the best year of your life, what had to happen? Right? What had to happen? What would be going on in your life? Would there be a certain amount of money that you're making from home? A certain amount of people that you're impacting? Would you have written a book, started a podcast? Are you doing a workshop? Did your course get launched and hundreds of people are buying it each month? Did you build a mastermind that people are paying you big bucks for, an in-person mastermind? Or do you have a membership and people are paying you $10 a month, right? If it was the best year of your life, what does that look like? Now, I'm going to go through this kind of quick because I want to get to the teaching today. But I'll tell you, this is one of my tools. I always envision, I can put myself in a state, not looking forward to what I'm going to do, taking myself out of where I am and kind of moving ahead a year and looking backwards and say, okay, what had to happen? Oh my God, I'm more connected to my wife than ever before. Oh my God, I'm running again. I just did this recently. I want to start running again. I'm running again. Man, I feel good when I'm on mile 5. I'm still feeling good. Oh, in my business, we're impacting. Oh my God, we have 50,000 people that we're impacting on a weekly basis doing X, or 100,000 or 1 million people, or whatever the number is. I literally have trained my brain to think about it so much that I could get goosebumps and the hair on my arms stand up, and I visualize it happening so powerfully that I'm in that moment. It took me years to do that, just so you know, because a lot of times somebody would say this when in my 20s, I'd be so busy, my brain's so busy, and I got stuff going. It's like, how can I visualize where I'm going to be? I need to take care of this problem in front of me. But if you take care of the problem in front of you without visualizing where you need to be, it's like driving really fast down the back roads with no GPS on, with no map. So sometimes we just got to step back, pretend it's a year from now, and I would encourage you when you take 10 minutes tonight, just write down just whatever comes out of your hand. Like, I want to make 50 grand a month, 10 grand a month, 3 grand a month. I want to spend more time at home. I want my children to see the woman that I could become when I do my own thing. I want my husband. I want my wife. I want my friends. I want my family, my partner. I want to retire my parents. I want to take a trip to Europe and travel Europe for a month with my kids before my daughter goes off to college. And just write it down, the best year of your life. Because we all need something to point our life towards. We all need a destination. I used to call it, we all need our lighthouse, right? When the ships used to come in the Northeast, like you see all the lighthouses in New England, what were they for? The ships would come in and it would be foggy. The lighthouses would either be there to bring them in or tell them where to avoid. It was their guide, right? We need our own lighthouse. So I would just encourage you, take 10 minutes and really say, what would, I was back there with Dean, if I had to have a conversation with Dean a year from now, and it was the best year of my life, I would love to be telling him this. Because it's easy to focus on what could go wrong over the next year, and that's what most people's brains default to, and you don't even realize it. So that's the first thing I'd encourage you. The second thing is attach an emotion to it. Why would you want to have that life? Why would you want to make that certain amount of money? Why would you want to be impacting lives? Why do you want more time with your children? Why do you want more freedom? Why do you finally want to work on yourself and heal yourself? Why do you want to stay at home? Why do you want to work abroad? Go really deep on your why, right? I'm not going to train this now. I wasn't even going to talk about this today, but I just feel like, I have to tell you, every day, a few percentage of people drop off. Right? So the first day is the most people. And every day, it's not a lot, but every day there's a little bit less people. So congratulations right now for you being here. And here's what I believe happens. Each day there's a percentage of people going, this sounds great, but that's for other people. That Brendan and Jenna and Glow and Dean, they could do it. I don't think I can. Look at all the crap in front of me. And they give up. And it makes me so sad. It does. It makes Tony sad. And because we can't help you if you're not a part of this, right? So I'm only giving you these tools because I want to give you every bit of leverage. And what I'm sharing now doesn't help you. Maybe something else, Glow or Jenna or Tony or myself or Brendan or Russell or Rachel who's coming out. Take something that you have from here and make it so powerful in your life that you must, and make it a why. Real quick, my why when I found out when I was young is to be in control of my life. That has driven me for 15 years. I didn't know what it was. I identified it 15 years, but it's probably been there forever. As a kid of parents who were married a lot, moved a lot, didn't have money a lot, I never felt in control as a child. Different friends, different family, different step-parents, grandparents, sisters, brothers, all this stuff. I was never in control. I know why I'm successful. I know my why. Because I need to be in control of my time. I need to be in control of my calendar. I pick my kids up from school. I take them to school. I take them to practice. Like, no one's ever going to tell me I can't do that. No one's going to ever tell me I can't go on date night and do the things I want to do. Might sound silly to you, but that's my why. And when I'm having a rough day and things go wrong, you know what I think about? How is this going to be the best year of my life? What does that look like at the end of this year? And secondly, why the hell am I keep fighting for it? And when I get in that state, when I see where I want to go, when I see my lighthouse, I'll boil it down to this. When I see my lighthouse of where I want to go, my compelling future, and I tap into my heart, there's nothing going to stop me. No one's ever going to tell me I can't go pick up my kids from school or take them on a vacation or go to baseball practices, not just games. No one's ever going to tell me that. I will chew through a brick wall. I would die for that because I didn't have it as a kid. I don't know what yours is, but you identify it, and you won't stop this. The last piece I'll say, and then we're going to get to some work. Why, where you want to go, your compelling future, and why you want it is focus more on that than the how. Because when you have a strong enough why, when you can see where you're going, the how is available. The how is Project Next. The how is if you're doing something different. The how is somebody else. Liz might be helping Shyam. I hope I said that right. Shame, right? Federica might be helping Tanya with what she has, or Bruce is helping Judy. What I'm saying is, if your why is strong enough, you find the how. And the last thing I'll say is, just make sure the how is from someone who's already done it. Did that make sense? Was that a little confusing? That's all I'll say. Just make sure the how is from someone who's already done it, not just talk about it. Be fearful of your single friend telling you how to fix your relationship, or your broke friend telling you how to get rich. Just saying, just giving you that little bit of advice. So, before we get started today, take some time today and just really think, where's my lighthouse? Where would I love to be in a year? And why the hell do I really want it? Like deep, ask yourself why? Keep going deeper. And when you feel your heart start to fill, man, that's the thing that can get you through everything. All right, you guys ready for a good day? Let's do this. All right. So right now we're going to learn the story, teach, action framework. Okay? Story, teach, action. Here's what I know is when it comes to, again, day one, why this industry, why now? Day two, oh my God, my dot, that's who would want it. Day three, this is how you sell through service, market. Now it's like, how would I teach it in an elegant way? So I want you to think of the first section is story. Okay, write that down, story. All good training starts with a story. But next to story, I want you to put in brackets, it's really just the scene of your life. It's not the whole movie. It's just the scene in the movie, right? It's just the scene in the movie. Have you ever been to an event or a trainer, and if they go into a long, long motivational, inspirational story, and you're there long enough, you're like, it's a good story, but what the hell am I learning? Get to the point, right? And then on the opposite side, have you ever watched a trainer or a speaker that goes right into the strategy or tactics and starts training right out of the gate? And then you're like, whoa, it's like a fire hose, right? So there's this really magical balance when you tell a scene of your life. And what the scene is there to do is to set up why you know what you do, why you have the authority to teach it, and get people engaged to go, that's pretty good, Nancy Black, right? That's what we need to do. So let me give you some examples. If I was going to teach you how to write a book, okay? I've written 6 books, multiple New York Times bestselling author. Do you like that same shameless plug? With a kid with dyslexia. I almost said that backwards. It's good to brag about that, right? But if I was going to teach you how to write a book, I could say, hey, okay, when you sit down to write a book, first you lay out your chapters. Now let's get to your chapters. Now chapter 1 should be about, and it's like, okay, well, all right, okay. And sometimes that can be overwhelming. But what if I started with a story, a scene of my life? Listen, I did have dyslexia as a kid. And reading was almost impossible for me. And it was before books on audio. And it really made me never want to go to school, especially if there was days they wanted me to read in public. I had a really tough time. I just couldn't comprehend that way. And then I thought to myself, I'm going to write a book. And my ADD kicked in. I sat down trying to write a dang book. And every time I'd sit down and be like, oh, and squirrel. Like, oh, I got to write a book. Oh, should I work out tomorrow? Oh, I got to write a book. Oh, man, I don't think I made my bed today. Oh, I got to write a book. That's my brain. Just sharing that with you. But then I realized what was a really cool tool. I don't have my phone on me. But, if you go on your phone and you hit voice memo and you can record, what I realized is I'm really good at talking about the pieces that I want. So I pick out things that I'd love to talk about that I thought were transformational. And then I would just go and I'd hit record when something inspired me. If I wanted to do a chapter on focusing on solutions, there might be a day where I see that people around me aren't focusing on solutions. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to teach on it. And I just would go in my phone, I'd hit record, and I'd record from 20 minutes to an hour on how to focus on solutions. What is the foundation? How to shift the habit? How to shift your mind? And I'd get done with it. And I'd send it to go get transcribed for like $2. And I'd get back almost a chapter. And then I'd get that edited and it would be part of chapter 1 or chapter 2. And there was like 5 other things. But here's what I realized. When I realized that I could write a book out of my heart, that I didn't have to be perfect at English, that I realized that I could just take these hunks of my life and piece them together. And then when I get it published, it becomes my first book I launched. I had never barely read many books. My first book became a New York Times bestseller in a week. Now, I tell you that story because doesn't that set it up of like, well, how the hell did he write a book through audio? If you want, who in here ever thought about writing a book? Raise your hand if you ever thought about writing a book, right? I don't have a course on selling a book. I don't. But my point is, if I was going to teach you, I want to tell a compelling story, or I tell another story about my first book and how it became a New York Times bestseller. I want to tell a scene of my life. You don't need to know what grade I was in. You didn't need to know that my parents got a divorce or I had asthma as a kid. You don't need to know any of that. You don't have to tell the whole story of your life. Don't tell the whole book. Just that one scene. I decided to write a book. I did it. It was successful. That's the story. I could tell you I went through a divorce. And I was really worried about my kids. I'm not an advocate of divorce. It was the right thing in our circumstance, but I was so worried about my kids. So right before it happened and we knew it was, I got a divorce coach. I got a child-centered divorce coach that worked on the children, worked on me. I read books and I interviewed people. And by putting that all together, I found 7 things that allowed me to empower my children through divorce. And oh my God, they're thriving. They don't feel any separation. They bounce back and forth between each house. And it is unbelievable because I've learned to replace all other emotions with compassion and put them first. Would you like to learn one of those 7 things, right? I don't have a course on that either, but I went through it. And that story is real. It's not fake. I'm not making that up. Lisa, but do you see how the story gets you to go, what you got here? I want to know that. You did all that work. I don't have to do the work if I listen to you, right? Think about that with meditation, right? I don't know if anybody else is trying to meditate, but we had an amazing girl on here last year, and we were talking to her, and I want to bring somebody up here in just a moment. So my team, if you could go through and pick somebody for me, that would be amazing, and then put it up on the screen. This girl came on last year, and she said she went through a horrible breakup. This was her story, ready? She's like, I went through a horrible breakup. I couldn't sleep at night. I had anxiety. I had stress. I had worry. I tried everything. Nothing could work. And I finally found meditation. 2 times a day, 10 or 20 minutes a day. And there was this process I went through. And all of a sudden, the anxiety melted away. The angst melted away. And I realized that my life was in a different place. And meditation changed everything. She told this story. The whole audience was like, well, what did you do, right? She told the scene of her life that sets the authority. Hey, she was stressed and have anxiety, and she doesn't anymore. Dean went through a divorce. Now he's on the other side. It's good. Dean had dyslexia. Now he's got a New York Times best-selling book, right? If I told you about how I sold my first car through the classified ads or how I did my first house, right? If we look through, I'm just looking at my notes. I don't want to miss any of this. What I want to share with you, though, is the story starts the teaching because it gets the intrigue. And really, the next part we'll get into in a moment is the teach part. But before you get to the teaching, know that the story sets you up. And really what you're teaching are the things that you can pluck out of the story that you learned that can do like Alex Hormozy said, this is how I did it to get through divorce, how I got the book published in a New York Times bestseller. This is how I learned meditation. This is how I sold my first house. This is how I made money on my first car. This is how I fell in love with married and fell in love with the most amazing woman in the world. It's the story. So what I'd love to do right now, I want to go through the teach and the tool part, but I want to pick somebody. Lena in room 1. Could we bring up Lena in room 1? Everybody give it up for Lena. Hi, Lena. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing? This is amazing. It's such an honor to be speaking with you.
Oh, it's good to have you here. And here's the hard part. I'd love to pick all of you. When everybody raised your hand, you know why I blame it on I tell my team? Because I want to pick everybody. We'd be here till 12 o'clock tonight. But Lena, thank you. The team wrote, you like to help women be more radically true to themselves, becoming more confident and fully expressed. Is that true?
That is true.
Okay,
yes.
And you do that. You're a makeup artist. That's all I have.
I am. Okay, can I give you a little bit of backstory?
I would love to. No, this is the first time we're meeting, just so everybody's aware, right? This first, please give me a little background.
Sure. So I had a very turbulent childhood growing up. My mother ran away from home very many times. Parents' divorce was pretty big. And so there was a lot of stuff there. And then I kind of worked through that and was still trying to find myself and what I wanted to do. But I wore many different hats in my career. I was a stylist. I worked in makeup and fashion. And then I became a celebrity makeup artist. So I had this beautiful career. I was very successful as a makeup artist. But even when I was at the like epitome of success, if you will, like I was still feeling a little unfulfilled and that there was more for me to give. And I started coaching and I had a coach and I went on this incredible journey and I did meditation and I kind of healed myself from so much and moved through so much. And I was always scared and fearful of being on camera and speaking to people, but then I kind of moved through that as well. And it gave me so much confidence. And now I believe that like anything is possible if you put your mind to it, if you can work through it. Like I really do believe this to the core of my being, and I really want to help women through this.
Well, listen, first off, can we all give it up for Lena for your journey? Seriously, you took that on your own, right? You could have went down the path of saying my childhood is going to equal my future, instead of your childhood pushed you to have a different future, and that takes bravery, it takes being bold, and we all honor you for that. And I do. So I want to share that with you. And I love what you said, because my wife, the reason my wife is so good, and she doesn't do as much as she used to, is so good, is because my wife could have written this. Team hands me that I only have your blurb there. Confident and fully expressed. You love making women feel beautiful, feel confident. That's why my wife was so good. She absolutely loves it. So here's what I love. I loved that story, right? But let's boil it down to making women feel, as you wrote, confident and fully expressed. Okay?
Yeah.
You've had an amazing journey from where you were as your childhood to makeup artist, and then your coaching and self-discovery and finding a way to be happy and feeling limitless. Keep that. Don't let that go anywhere. But let's go into making women feel confident and fully expressed. Instead of the whole story, tell me a scene of why or how you know that you can make women feel confident and fully expressed. Has there ever been a time where you've done makeup for somebody and they were in a certain mood and then they were in another?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I have this one story of this lady who came into my makeup chair and she sat down. And one thing that I feel is a common thread with women is that they feel that they need to apologize for how they look that day, for if they're tired or if they're looking a certain way or that they have something going on. And she started apologizing and I was like, okay, that's, so I listened to her, and we're in this industry, you're kind of in close communication with people, you're right there with them. So I listened to her, I helped her through what she was doing. And we did this beautiful makeup on her, this amazing transformation. But we were also talking about personal development and all these things. And it was almost like conscious beauty, conscious coaching as I was doing the makeup. And we kind of got to the end of it and she felt so good, so in her power, just her whole, like how she changed from how she was when she initially came in to how she was feeling. And she went on to stage after that and just absolutely amazing, killed it, what she was doing. And it was so beautiful to watch. So yeah, I
love that story. And I would bet to say when I hear that story, that's probably one of many. If you did this years after year after year. And were you here yesterday with us, Lena?
I was.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you remember when I said yesterday, sometimes we have to sell people what they want, and give them what they need?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I want to share something with you, and I want you all to hear it. This is Lena, but I want you all to hear it. I would bet to say when women come in and they get makeup with you, like they used to come, this is a really similar conversation I have with my wife all the time. So I'm so glad. I wish my wife was here. Actually, she might be in the other room. She's dying this, because my wife, I believe that she did so insanely well in her field is because she loved making women feel beautiful, but she loved making them feel beautiful on the inside too. She loved doing what you do. She says all the time, I got my therapy lesson by helping women feel beautiful on the inside, and then I could just make the outside better, and together it was unbelievable. Is that the way you feel?
Absolutely spot on.
Okay, but here's the thing. No women, I don't think women, anybody, I don't think anybody comes to you to get makeup and says, I can't wait for Lena to fix my head. Nobody's going to say that. And no one's going to go to my wife and say, I'm going to just get extensions, but while I'm there, Lisa's going to change my life. Like, that's not where they're coming. They're coming because they think if they fix the outside, something will feel better on the inside, and they don't even realize that you're giving them what they want. Their hair looks better, their makeup looks better, their lipstick looks better, their cheeks look better, their eyes look better. But they leave feeling exponentially better because you're climbing into their soul as well because you've done the work. Is that true?
Absolutely true.
But here's what I want to share with everybody. You ready for this? If we helped Lena build a course that said, let me work on your mind, your heart, your soul, and your makeup, people would be like, I don't really want that. I mean, it's not what I want. I just want to look pretty. Lena, just make me look pretty. You're a celebrity makeup artist. Make me look pretty. But you know, am I right? I don't want to put words in your mouth. You know that if you make them look pretty on the outside, but if they don't work on the inside, they're always going to feel that way. Is that true?
100%.
And I can feel your heart, Lena. Can we all feel her heart? Can we give it up for Lena right now? Give her some love in the chat. You can feel what her goals are. So here's my suggestion. Your story. From what you told me, please, don't let me put words in your mouth. Tell me if I'm wrong. But your story, this is so easy. My team connected me because this is so cool, because it's so similar to my wife. But your story, your scene, is that as a professional makeup artist, you've had so many amazing women sit in the chair to do makeup. And you realize you can make them look beautiful here. But you knew for it to be lasting, you had to help in here.
Yes.
Right? And that's why maybe you were called to go to coaching. And I just wrote down, you said you did coaching and some other things.
With Tony Robbins, actually, I did his Core 100 program. I've done breath work and meditations and learned all the things.
Okay, so you're doing all the things to help anchor the insight. So, but if you give people what they want, I would consider creating your course a little bit leaning more towards helping confidence, like from the outside with your makeup. That is giving them what they want. But when they come in, you give them what they need. I don't know if you are you a part of Project Next yet?
I am going to sign up.
Okay, so let me just tell you something. When you go in Project Next, we teach you how to do everything we're talking about, a whole next level. But the first whole module is Tony and I getting into your heart to make you feel, our whole first module is to make sure you don't give up on yourself. Because it doesn't matter what we teach someone. It doesn't matter what you teach someone to get in better shape. If their mind is wrong, they won't do there. It doesn't matter how beautiful you make someone's face. If their heart's not there, they're never going to last. It's the same with a relationship. It doesn't matter if you give them a widget. If you don't get in their heart and their mindset, the relationship won't change. So what you'll see in Module 1, oh my God, especially because you've already done some Tony stuff, you're going to lose you'll be vibrating by the end of Module 1 because we know what people need. Now, if we just sold it and said, the first chapter is all about mindset, some people are like, I don't really need that. Just tell me how to get my sale done. Make sense? So, let's keep talking about this. I'm going to leave. Can you stay with me? Do you mind if I'm going to do this whole thing with you if you just hang?
Absolutely,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. So we talked about the story, which is really the scene. Remember, it could be some of your marketing too, but as you're going to teach, if you're going to do Module 1, and Module 1 is about inner beauty helps create the outer beauty. We make it up, right? If you had Module 1, what would you name one chapter? If you were going to name something, or an idea, you don't have to name it right now, but what do you think the first part of your training would be about?
Like going within to go with that, or inside out or something like that.
Okay, I love that thought. But here's what I'm thinking. Setting it up is crucially important. So your story could be, hey, like I said, hey, I've had women in my chair for so many years, and I realized no matter how beautiful on the outside, and I'm one of the best in the world, and I can't wait to show you how to do that. And I'm gonna in this course. But I'm also gonna show you at the same time some little changes. Don't say deep mindset transformation, right? That's scary. But I'm gonna show you these little changes. Iris, I see you laughing, right? I'm gonna show you these little changes that could allow you to match the inside with the outside. Who'd be up for that? Right? I want to show you something. Watch this. If I said, if Lena was going to do something on, you said, what was it? The confident and fully expressed, right? if we said, hey, Lena's going to make you feel confident, more beautiful, more fully expressed, and she's going to give you a whole lesson on mindset because she learned breath work and she learned coaching, and you could look prettier if you do that. Is that exciting to anybody? Seems like too much work, right? Couple people, right? But if you said in the first section of this training, we're going to go inside out to show you some of the things you could do on the inside to make you radiate and look beautiful and feel and match. It's the same thing. We just want to word it, remember, like yesterday, what they want, and we sneak in what they need. When you understand that, the game changes forever, right? So the second part, if that's the story, and you work on your story, it's got to be yours. Don't take mine. It's your real life. It's your real story. The next part is teach, right? The next part is teach. And all the teaches, so the story, every single one of you is a storyteller. All of you have told stories to friends, family, right? Beverly, I see you shaking your head. You've all told stories. So can we agree, hand up, that we can all tell a scene of our life? You went through the divorce. You started sales. You went through all these different things, a hard time. The next is we're just going to teach pieces of that. So I use an example of meditation. There was a girl last year that I did the same thing with, similar. And I said, okay, what would you teach? She's like, okay, what I realized is that when you first wake up, you do not do your electronics. Okay, that's great. What else? You put your feet on the floor and ground yourself. Okay, that's great. What else? She said, and then she just kept going through these things that she would teach. I said, how did you learn that? She goes, out of the story. When I was freaked out, I realized if I looked at my phone, I was all messed up. And if I did this, right? If I was talking about, I told the story about my divorce and my kids. What I found out is there's certain things that you could do is like not keep score, right? Replace every emotion with compassion and empathy. My whole point is, as you tell your scene, you start thinking, what pieces can you teach out of that story that become your modules, your talking points? So let me ask you, you have your story, you want to help women from inside out. Tell me some things that you would teach someone to do that, to accomplish that, to be fully expressed.
Okay. First of all, I would start with a morning routine and implementing, like, stacking on habits and changing the way that our mind is working, what we're saying to ourselves as we're getting ready, but to start first thing in the morning. So I would say to meditate and to really go in and like love on ourselves, like, write out affirmations or get into our bodies. I would also talk about kind of doing a segment.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop you right there really quick. Okay? And I want everybody to hear this. This is how, you guys liking this? Raise your hand if you're liking this. Okay. All of those things, I would position them around beauty and confidence. Everything should be positioned around beauty and confidence. If you say you have to meditate and journal and vision boards, like, I want to look prettier. Come on, Lena, right? But say, for the beauty and confidence hack number 1. Morning routine. And I'd start off slow. Maybe just go 10 minutes without looking at your phone. Read 10 minutes out of your favorite motivational book, or listen to 10 minutes of your favorite audio from Tony Robbins or Jenna Kutcher or Brene Brown, right? And just start really slow, right? And that's your beauty hack, right? It's a beauty hack. It's a confidence hack. It's not a mindset thing, right?
No. Dean, this is so helpul. I cannot even tell you, because I think that was the puzzle that I was trying to figure out. Like, how can I translate this into a course?
Okay, what would you name a word of beauty that's in or out? What would you call somebody who has? Is it infinite beauty? Is it radiant beauty? Help out in the chat here. What would be something so you can inner beauty, right? Glow. All these glowing, look at all these glowing is a great one. Everybody's saying glowing. Think about, it's like, get your glow on, right? Get your glow on. Beauty hack number 1, your morning routine. All of a sudden, it's like, this is a beauty hack. This isn't a mindset thing. This is how I get to look confident and alive, right? Tell me something else you would do in another section. What would you do as far as making yourself look beautiful physically on the outside? Tell me 2 things.
Okay, I also feel the way that we feel internally is reflected on the outside. So I would then go into things like maybe nutrition, or like drinking water as just a simple thing, but really the importance of it and how important that is for skin and everything else. So then going into it.
Think of this frame. Ready, everybody? I hope you guys. The frame is one of the simplest beauty hacks that everybody looks to avoid is right in front of us every day. Did you know, just find a stat, did you know that just 3 extra glasses of water can give puffiness in your cheeks? Go through vanity if you have to, but you're making them healthier. When you drink more water, you're healthier. But if they're looking to buy a course to be more beautiful and more confident, you got to frame it through that lens. So 3 extra glasses a day, find some stats about more puffy, less wrinkles, whatever it is, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, a little more water, I look even prettier. It's through the same lens. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Give me another tip.
Another tip. So let's see.
What about when doing your makeup? Is there a tip when you do your makeup?
Yeah. So I often find that self-talk during makeup is really important. So becoming aware and helping women become aware as they apply their makeup or their creams, moisturizer, whatever they do in the morning. What are we saying to each other? So becoming aware of the language and that internal talk. So I
love it. So here's a good one. I learned this from Tony a long time ago. He called it net time. No extra time. So find a time. I listen to an hour of a book every day of my life, and I do it while I work out. Tony did it while he used to commute and drive. So he'd drive a half hour one way, halfway back, and he called it no extra time. I'm already in the car, might as well listen to a book. I converted that to working out. I work out an hour a day, I listen to a book, and it motivates me, especially if it's a good book. I can't wait to go work out because I want to listen to another hour of the book. So you could come up with a concept of no extra time. While you're applying your makeup, here's the mantra, here's the conversation, here's some beauty talk. Here's some beauty talk
so good.
that you can have with yourself while you apply your makeup. You understand? It's all looking through this lens. And I know nobody else might be doing makeup, but think through your lens and how you could frame everything through what you're teaching. If it's, anything that you do. So the teach part. So we talked about the scene of your life. You tell a scene that sets up what you do. I went through the trouble. I had the success. I'm living my best life. I'm in the middle. Right? I'm in the middle. We had somebody on VIP that's 3/4 of the way through a divorce, but she wishes someone would have told her so many things prior. Watching her heart change was one of the best days of my life in VIP. She's like, well, I'm not all the way through the divorce yet, but she's 4 years in, and she said she made so many mistakes. There's somebody starting on day 1 of that divorce. She has so much knowledge for that person of day 1, so they don't have to do 4 years. Maybe they're done in 4 months without all the heart and stress, right? So remember that. You don't have to be everything to everyone, Lena. You have to be the things that you do, and don't try to be everything to everyone. Don't try to make them look beautiful and do yoga and meditation and breath work. You try to do all of it, you'll lose people. Make this whole course about beauty and confidence. Make your course, so everybody watching right now from all over the world, 150 countries, 148 countries, I think it is, just dial in. You're going to tell a scene about that piece. You're going to teach what you learned out of that and how you did it, right? I love that Alex said that. I keep referring to Alex Samozi said, you have to say what you should do. Say, this is how I look beautiful. This is how I found myself. This is how I feel alive. This is how my inside matches my outside. I don't care if I don't have makeup on today. I still feel beautiful. Put makeup on. Oh my God, it's even more. Got it? That's your scene. Then you start teaching the things that you've done. That's the teach part. Who can feel like they could teach something out of the lessons they learned through their life experience? Is there anybody that doesn't? Right? The last part is the action. The last part is the action. The action is what, think about every night. Every night I challenge you guys to go do something. Right? Because so many times we hear things, we get lessons, but we don't actually apply it. So if we really, listen, again, for those of you that are in Project Next, you're going to see we have success work, we call it. We stop the video and say, don't go any further. Do this right now. Because we know if we get you to take these action steps, if you follow them when you're done, the cumulative action steps get you that result that you're craving. Whether that's first sale, next sale, consistent sales. If we just rambled on for 10 hours or 20 hours, and you didn't have the results, you might learn it. You might learn it. But you might not actually do anything with it. And Tony always says, never leave the scene of learning or action without doing something so you can gain momentum. So the last part, the action step, every night, go in the Facebook group and sell me something, or tell the limiting belief and take this action. And an action could be anything. If you go to Tony Robbins, it's extreme. He has you break a board or walk across fire. He's just getting you to take an action. Do you guys see that? When you can do that, you can do anything, but it doesn't have to be that extreme. As a woman, your action on day one could simply be, here's my story. I once felt sad on the inside. I thought that putting makeup on the outside would make me feel better. It didn't. I made myself feel better. And then I started making other women feel better. Now I want to do it for you. Here's the 7 things I learned about inner and outer beauty. And here's the action step. The action step is, right now, grab a piece of paper and a pen and write down 3 things that you tell yourself that make you feel bad. And you know for a fact they're not true. Write it down, then crumple it up, take a lighter, burn it outside and throw it away because those thoughts are going to be over. That's an action. I'm not talking about running down the street. You don't have to walk across fire. It could be, I'm teaching you how to go plant-based today, not everything. I taught you why I went plant-based. We have Agatha, who I've met before. She went plant-based because she had arthritis. I had arthritis. My mother had arthritis. My grandmother had arthritis. I went plant-based. The arthritis stopped. Okay? That's the story. Steps. Step 1. Step 2, step 3. She could get all done, and her action step could be, okay, now that we went through module 1, let's do this. Let's go in your refrigerator, and let's get rid of half of the things in there that aren't plant-based. Just half today. Go take the action. Because we want people to move. Do you guys get this? Right? We want people to not just learn from you. What did I say an irresistible offer was? Tell me what an irresistible offer is. Is it a price? Is it how much crap you give people? No, it's getting people the results they want. You want someone at the end of the day to feel better, to be happier, to look beautiful on the inside and outside. Agatha wants people to elegantly switch over to plant-based. But we have to get them to move. Thank you. Someone said Dean likes Donna. Woo. Dean wants to get people to move. I do. And everything we do, because Tony and I know learning is wonderful, but it's not enough. You need the action. So the action in Story Teach Action is just anything that can get somebody to take an action that moves them towards the person they want to be, because that's why they gave us money. And if they're going to give us money, if they're going to give us their trust, and they're going to give us you give me your money, you give me your trust, you give me your time, I'm over-delivering. You're getting things done. And if you don't want to, I am going to pull you kicking and screaming until we get it done. And that's the way you got to think about it. Don't just think, Rhonda, I see you shaking your head. I don't want to be like, hey, they gave me their money. If they don't want to do it, that's on them. No. That's how normal people do it. You want to take this business to the next level? You go deeper and say, not on my watch. You guys are going to see exactly, those of you with the red backgrounds, you're going to see on our watch, we're going to pull you across this. We're in this together. We're getting this done. And if you have that attitude, you will tell the story with authority. You will teach knowing, these are the things I did. These aren't things other people did. These are things I did. And here's what you must do today to start the action. You feeling that? Give me an action step that you would give somebody. You're on mute.
There, can you hear me?
I can.
Perfect. Yes, okay. Right, an action step to kind of move forward on this. It would probably be something like, I'm getting a little stuck with this. So,
hey, listen, this is a lot. This is about a journey. Remember, everybody, this is Kaizen, right? It's one step at a time. I think I've shared a lot with you that you were like, oh my God. It literally could be, okay, ready for these action steps? I want everybody to hear this. I want to simplify this because this could sound like a lot, but I want people my whole goal today is to not fear selling. And if you didn't master it yet, God, we've done a half hour on it. Right? But know that when you know the Story Teach Action framework, think about this. What is something you wish someone would have asked you to do when you were feeling maybe not so confident on the inside? Do you wish they stopped you from negative thinking?
Absolutely.
Do you wish, let me ask you a couple questions first. Do you wish they stopped you from comparing yourself to others? Did you ever compare yourself to others?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here's what I want you to do. Sometimes we go into this head of like, hear me, everybody, I've never said this before. You go into your head of thinking, what do these women need, right? I want to change it for you. You ready, Lena?
Yeah.
What did you need?
To stop seeking validation outside of myself.
Drop the mic. I wish we had a mic and you could drop it right now. Can we give it up for Lena? right? So don't overthink it. Okay, ready? Hat giveaway. Give me that hat right there if you don't mind, sir. That one, Mastermind. Okay. We have cool Mastermind hats. I wear one all the time. First person that says, who did I say? Wow, it went right back. Who did I say your ideal client was? There we go. It is, oh my God, it's going really quick. Whoever said you first, send like 10 hats out. So we'll pick 10 people who said it in the different groups. We'll send 10 hats out. Remember this, guys. Don't overcomplicate this. I'm not trying to make it simple. I'm trying to not overcomplicate it. Tony says don't make things harder than they are. Better make them see them as they are. Your ideal client is you of a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Lena, you want to create the greatest course of your life? Just go create something you wish somebody created for you. Think about when you were in the toughest part of your life and you wish someone gave you a course that could change your life, or a weekend workshop, or a Zoom call. You know, I came up with something this morning. I was calling it SWYK, the Sell What You Know framework. Please know that it's all the same. If you want to write a book, do a workshop, a mastermind, a course, a coaching program, everything on the Story Teach tool, it's in all of it. It's in the book. It's in all of it. The same book I wrote became one of my best-selling courses, which also became a $100,000 a year mastermind. I taught the same stuff. Russell teaches the same stuff, just in a different way, right? So know that it could be a workshop. You could do a weekend retreat where girls meet you and you actually do some makeup. That could be eventually. Or maybe it's a weekend on Zoom and you do the inner and the outer beauty. It could be a course that you film on your phone. It's all the same framework. Okay? But just create it for you when you were in a spot where you wish someone would have given it to you. And if you do that, you won't think, what should I get these girls to do? You think, I wish I knew what. I wish someone gave me this. I wish someone would have told me, take that limiting belief, burn it, throw it away, not compare myself to others, not search for validation. All of those could be the action steps at the end of each segment. You feeling that, Lena?
Wow, I really am. I have goosebumps. Thank you so much. So much clarity already.
Okay, so Tanner is ready? Okay, so I want to show you guys something to crush another limiting belief. So, Lena, I was a little redundant on some of the questions I asked, and I kept going in because I was stalling a little bit of time. You've been with us for like 12 minutes, I think. Another limiting belief is, okay, I know this industry. I know my dot, or I'm getting to know my dot. All right, I know who would buy it. Okay, I could sell through service. Okay, I could take this Story Teach action framework, but how would I make it real? How would I make a course? I'm not that good with technology. This whole 5 days is to bust those beliefs because Tony and I have worked our tails off to bust it. So while we were talking, I delayed for 12 minutes. Could you pull this up? I had Tanner on my team create a site in mastermind.com in 12 minutes. 12 minutes. This is you have to make it yours. But I asked, they showed me the questions they wanted me to ask. We've never met before. I've never done this before. Look what we've done. So from unsure to unstoppable, the confident woman blueprint. Do you want to be the kind of woman whose confidence commands a room? In this course, celebrity makeup artist Lena Chowdhury reveals her secrets for looking and feeling your best. Unlock your confidence. Unlock a world of opportunity. This is a good job, guys. Look at this. Scroll up a little.
Amazing.
Scroll up a little. I would love to help women be their radical true selves, becoming more confident and fully expressed. I am a celebrity makeup artist. That's who you are. About this product. I won't read the whole thing, but scroll up. This is amazing, guys. And I say Tanner built it, and one of our writers back there, one of the girls, I'm sure wrote this. That doesn't sound like Tanner. That's got like a feminine voice. But you see, that's the description. Let me read some of it. And once you glow from within, it's time the world takes notice. So to help you start looking and feeling your best on the outside, I've taken the best and most effective tips from my years of celebrity styling and infused them into one course. So cool. Be bold, be confident. And let's scroll down. Program details. Aligning your inner and outer beauty. The self-love morning routine. The simplest beauty hack on earth. The secret of beauty talk. Anyway, guys, that's the start of a course. Pretty cool? 15 minutes? 12 minutes?
Amazing.
When we shared yesterday, you can scroll back down. I want to see that. The reason I'm sharing this and want to bust these myths is because our brain works on, okay, I know how to sell it. I know I'm a sell too, but I'm not good with technology. How would I get it out there? Tony and I have been doing this for 65 years between us. That's why we built this course. That's why we built Project Next. That's why we spent a couple $1 million on this software to be the place where you could say, okay, I know what I'm going to teach. I know I'm going to teach it too. Let's go into Mastermind and make it real. Legit, right now, if you talk to my team, you could be in here in 2 minutes and edit this copy. And literally within 15 minutes, you could have this hooked to your bank account and push this live. And if someone bought it, that money would go in your bank account. Is that crazy or what? And here's the cool part. If you want to build a course, you're going to be in Project Next. We'll teach you how to do that, right? But say you want to do a weekend workshop. Think of this, Christina or Christopher. Think about this. If you were going to do this as a weekend workshop, instead of it saying from unsure to unstoppable, a confident woman blueprint, in this weekend Zoom workshop or weekend virtual workshop, you could literally, if you had nerve, you could schedule this for 30 days from today. And in 30 days, you go through Project Next and you lay out your curriculum and you lay out the different pieces and you teach it live. You literally could start selling this in 2 days from now, sell it for 30 days from now, send everybody you know, and plus you're going to learn some great stuff from Rachel Miller here. Send people to it. Do it live. Want to know something else? If you want to do it in Mastermind, you could do it in Mastermind. You could record it, and then that could be your course.
Wow, that is incredible.
Everybody, give it up for Lena.
Thank you so much. I'm going to do it.
You know what's cool? If you could take the big screen down, that'd be great. What's cool is Lena, or so many people said, Lena, if you drop that, everybody in here is buying. Like, who would consider buying it if Lena dropped that? Look at the hands going up. Not everybody, 20% of the room. I don't know, there's 100,000 people here, so that's a pretty good audience. And I'm not saying, please no, I'm not saying it's as easy as put your site up and do nothing, and then the money comes rolling in. That's not who we are. We're giving you all the pieces to launch this and the skills to show you how to go out and market it and find your ideal client. We all have to do work. We know there's no magical money machines. But Tony and I have been in this long enough to know that if we give you the tools and the capabilities, and we keep working with you with the repetition, and then we give you we call this an implementation tool because this makes it real. Who made that? Who felt this is more real by watching what we built in 12 minutes? Who wants to go build their own, right? Who wants, I want my site up, right? And that's what we built, and we're so proud of it. And a couple more things, and then we're going to bring on our first guest here today. Think about this. Once that site is up, right? Lena's up. My team will get with her and give her access to that. She'll be able to log in and adjust that and make that hers. And if she wants to make it a workshop, she could literally have it done by the end of the day. How insane is that? If you take just 10 years ago, people spent $15,000 for a website, and then they're wondering if it would make money and how to get a merchant account, how to apply. Your merchant account is available in like 7 minutes now. The company that we work with, Stripe, oh my God, they're amazing. We got to meet the owner because the CEO is he's a student of Tony Robbins. So, I mean, we get lucky to have such great capabilities. 10 years ago, brutal. 25 years ago when I started, oh my God. You have social media, and I want you to hear this. I said it a couple of times, but hear it in this moment. Now that if she had this up, instead of social media using us where we get on it and scroll and stuck and waste time, imagine we start using it. Instead of us being consumers, imagine us being producers. And we go out and find that tribe of women who want to be more radiant on the inside and outside. And they start following Lena. And then they go, oh my God, you have a course? You crazy? Yes. Click, 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 click. Right? So first is we're going to teach you and show you a little bit here in a moment here how to get social media to work for you rather than you being sucked into it. Who's up for that? Right? Number 2, and I wrote these down last night because I think they're really important. Number 2 is I said just a few years ago we couldn't do that, but man, when I started 25 years ago, I'm going to repeat this. And when Tony started 45 years ago, this didn't exist. You saw those books I had to create for Motor Millions. You saw the cheese, if you were here, you saw the cheesy infomercial I had to create. I was $250,000 in before I made one sale. No wonder my sister drove from Virginia and told me I was insane. Right? In retrospect, I would probably do that now. Somebody in their 20s that was doing okay, like you're going to throw it all away because it was such a barrier to entry. When we say it's time to thrive and this is the greatest time to be in this industry is because the access. Imagine the opportunity to have a course up and running and people are understanding the value of information. It doesn't have to be a DVD or a kit or a box. It has to be a click and value. And we create that irresistible offer so we can change people's lives. There's never been anything like this. And we spent a couple $1 million so you don't have to, so you can be up and running in a short period of time. You don't have to go in. What did Warren Buffett say? Don't go into any businesses where you got to put a lot of upfront money because you could get crushed. Look at this opportunity, right? And what you're going to learn from Rachel is just one strategy. Don't watch this and go, oh, I'm not sure I like that one. There are multiple strategies. I call it the wagon wheel. There's a Facebook strategy, an Instagram strategy, an email strategy, a LinkedIn strategy. There's multiple strategies. And what I'm going to suggest to you is you find the one that fits you. Someday, will you be paying for ads? I hope so. I hope you spend a lot of money on ads, but that's not our goal. Our goal is to get you sales first by organic because then that's proof of concept. Does that make sense? Right? You get your course up. I don't want Lena to go, when she gets this course up, to go spend a whole bunch of money in advertising yet. She's going to use all the other strategies, start sending traffic and building a tribe, start getting sales, proof of concept, hell yes, and one step at a time, Kaizen. Remember, we all overestimate what we could do in a year, underestimate what we do in 5. If I was and you put this site up and then the millions come rolling in, half of you would click off and I would want you to click off. Would you rather me to be honest and real? Let's get it up and get some sales going. Let's get your first sale. Because if you think about it, you know what the greatest thing, hear this today. You know what the greatest thing about your first sale is? Is you could do it again. That's the greatest thing about your first sale. And that's why with so many of you, we're going to work really hard to get your first sale. Because then it's no more a dream. It's not a reality. You saw the video we played yesterday. We'll hopefully play some more tomorrow of people getting their first sale. They're out of their mind. You remember your first sale for the rest of your life. And if you're already making sales, we need to fine tune it and get you more and more sales, right? Okay. You guys liking that? Who feels better about teaching right now than you did just 45 minutes ago? Who feels less intimidated by technology watching a site get built in 12 minutes? Let's give it up for Tanner and the team on that one. Okay. So your presenter who's coming up right now, I'm going to get ready to take my stuff to give her room on here. You know what? Today, she's so humble. And today she flew in just for you guys as a mom of 6. And she came down here. And she was sitting on the couch, I got to be honest with you. And she said, I can't believe you asked me to speak again. You have all these incredible speakers. You have Tony and Russell and Brendan and Jenna. And you asked me again. She's so humble. And she's like, sometimes I ask myself why. And you know what I told her? I'm going to tell you the exact thing I told her. I said, because sometimes people look at Tony or Russell and it's so far removed from when they were struggling and had, like, it's so far removed of Russell making his potato gun. You forget because he owns this big company called ClickFunnels, right? What I love about this amazing woman with a huge heart is just a few years ago, she was sitting where you are with 6 children saying, can I really do this? Who the hell would listen to me? I don't have a following. I barely even know. I don't even have a Facebook account. Like, can I really do this? And sometimes when you learn from somebody like that, man, doesn't it anchor it in even more? Like, wow, she was just in the screen like this not that long ago. And she is a social media, she's amazing with organic growth. That's all she does is organic growth. There's a whole bunch. She's a mom blogger, author, mother of 6, all kinds of accolades. I just want to tell you, she's one of the sweetest humans I've ever met. She's an amazing mom. But the truth is, she's a badass. You don't see it. She does amazing things. She's impacting the world, and she's here to share some killer stuff with you. Can we all please give it up for Rachel Miller? You're welcome.
having me today and being part of this with you guys. When Dean said I was in your seats, he wasn't lying. I legitimately was in your seats just not that long ago at all. And I believe, just like Dean and just like everyone else that has spoken here, that we are made to survive. No, we're not made to survive. We are made to thrive. And it was probably I would probably say about 3 weeks ago, I had a reminder of that in my life. So my sons, they have like this chat thread with all of their friends, and they're on this chat thread, and they're planning to go to the movies. And I'm, I guess, a little bit removed because I have a larger business, like Dean said, but at the same time, it's not that long ago. I kind of, though, forgot. I forgot what it was like. So my son is talking to his friends, and they're planning on a movie outing. And the grandma of one of the boys lived with his grandma. And if she's listening right now, please know, because they may have followed me on Facebook. Just know I love you, and this is meant in respect. Grandma messages me and says, can you maybe tweak the boys' activity a little bit? I can't afford the movie ticket. I can't have my son go, and I don't want him to have to tell his friends that he can't afford the movie ticket. And so can you, as a mom, just kind of help figure out, redirect the boys, and maybe they can pick going to the park as their activity. And guys, I can pay for their friends of 8 kids, teens, to go to the movies, and I don't have to think about it. And that to me was a huge reminder of how far life can come. How far life can come, that you can literally see, all I have to do is sell another course, guys, and that pays for movies. And I mean, my courses are pretty cheap. But my point is, that's what I want for each and every one of you. I want you to be at the spot where you could say, I want to go to the movies. I could go to the movies 5 times in a row and get all the popcorn if I sell one of those makeup classes. And so all I need to do to let my son and go out with his friends is sell one class. Lena, I'm so excited for you guys. I have 6 kids, and when I was beginning, I went with the movie ticket. I remembered back to when somebody asked me if we wanted to go bowling, and I remember when, before I had my businesses, before I had this, I was a teacher, and I felt like I got fired. I didn't get fired, but it felt like someone took it away from me because I got pregnant on maternity leave. So I had a baby, got pregnant on maternity leave. Now I'm sick. I can't work anymore, so I had to quit. I couldn't afford 2 babies in daycare. I have no car because my car's broken. I'm sitting there. It was a struggle, but it's like a struggle, just like the mom with the movie ticket. Just like at that time, I was invited to go play bowling with a bunch of other couples. And I had to say, no, we can't go bowling. Yes, it's only $20 to go bowling, but that requires bowling plus a babysitter, and it's not going to happen for us right now because we don't have 40 extra bucks right now. That's how tight it was for me. And that's how tight it is, I know, for some of you too. And I want you to know we are not meant to survive. We're meant to thrive. And every step when you're in that spot is a step in the right direction. There is no wrong. And some of you are probably, or I've seen the comments, like some of you have said, well, it's a lot of rah-rah. But these rah-rahs help you craft your message of how there was a struggle and you overcame it with one step and another step and another step and another step. So guys, for me, my struggle, remember there's that Dean does it so much better than I, where here's where you are, here's where you want to be, and there's that journey, right? And some of our journeys go down, and then they zigzag down, and they snow dive down. Okay, some of our journeys are down, and some of them are a little journey up, and some of them have a bridge. And maybe it's a tightrope bridge, but it's still a bridge to get you to success faster, right? Okay, so here's where you were, and here's where you want to be. The thing is, how many of you are like where I was, and you're like, but I don't know if I have a message. I don't know if I have resources. Like, hello, lady, I couldn't go bowling. I couldn't go bowling when 3 couples that we were really good friends with and we aren't friends with anymore because we just kind of distanced ourselves during that season. 3 friends said they were going to go bowling. Why don't you guys come too? I didn't. Here I was. I had no resources. I had no training, or I thought I had no training. I did. I just didn't see it at the time. Okay, because every single one of us have a message inside of us, and every single one of us, if we love people, we have the ability to speak. We have a mouth. We have the internet. We have this group. So I had everything I needed, but I didn't think I did. Okay, so here we are. We have the mess. I didn't think I had a message. But what I started to do, and I didn't see it until later, and I didn't realize, but that was one of the steps out of my dip. What I started to do was collect an audience. How many of you inside Project Next made a comment, put up a post, and you had people who responded and listened to you? How many of you got that? Like, that Thrive group was insane. Like, I was in there and I scrolled to get some stories, and I could scroll and scroll and scroll, and I got to like 70 or an hour. I mean, it was like so you guys are crazy. You guys had lots and lots of messages. When someone responded to you at that instant, you had an audience. So that's just in one Facebook group. How many of you also have a Facebook profile? How many of you also have a Facebook group of your own? How many of you have, okay, guys, actually, let's start doing points, because I'm competitive and I like collecting points and I like feeling good. How many of you guys have a Facebook profile? Okay, give yourself a point. How many of you guys have an Instagram profile? Give yourself a point. TikTok, give yourself a point. I'm barely on TikTok. But, okay, so I don't have all the points is what I'm trying to tell you guys, okay? How many of you are on Pinterest, YouTube? How many of you are in a Facebook group? How many of you have a Facebook business page? How many of you have run an ad on Facebook or actually anywhere? Okay, here's the deal. If you even have 2 of those points, you're set and you're ready to go. You have enough points, you have enough of an audience that you can begin. That's what I want to talk to you guys about today, because I truly believe that every single one of you has the audience you already need. You just don't know it. Okay, and just like I didn't know it either, okay? So I'm talking to myself. Okay, so we're talking about that journey, right? Okay, so when we're talking about that journey, we want to think about where we are and where we want our audience to be. We have those places that I mentioned, the Facebook, the group, the Instagram, the TikTok. Those are places where we can post content. We can post photos. You don't have to just make videos, guys. You can post video content. And they don't have to be long. They can be as short as 7 seconds. That you can post conversation starters. Earlier today, inside the group, Jessie George posted a conversation starter, which I love how she collected an audience using just a question inside the Project Next, the Thrive group. Not Project Next, sorry, Thrive group. Okay. So you have everything you need. So what do we need to do? We need to create content that talks about that journey. So Dean talked about this with Lena. He said you're going to take scenes of your transformational journey with your customer who's coming in, who wants to have their makeup done, and now they're getting on to the stage and they're having this massive amount of confidence. You take that scene, and guess what you do with it? You make a photo post. You make a conversation post. You make a brief video clip. Now, it could be a clip of her just talking about what happened. That video, guys, she should go back and grab a screen grab of it, because that right there, that's her piece of content. She doesn't have to overthink it. She's already made it. That video. Okay, so you've got photo, video, conversation starter of the different scenes. And then remember the next step that Dean talked about. He said there's action steps. There's action steps that people take to do their makeup. Now, guys, to be honest, I'm not really a makeup person. So they dolled me up in the back, but I typically don't wear any makeup. So I don't know the steps that you're supposed to follow when you're putting on makeup. But I know, I hear that they do contouring and foundation. Okay, so those are action steps, right? Each one of those is an action step that then she connects to a heart issue, like Dean was talking about. That's action step 1, foundation. photo, video, conversation starter. Action step 2, putting on eyeshadow. I don't know, guys. Whatever that next makeup thing is. Somebody who wears makeup, tell me what that is. What that next step is. You're going to create a photo, video, a conversation starter. In your mind, guys, you already know the journey. You already know where you are. You already have gone through that pit. You can describe what that pit looks like, right? You can describe that with a photo, video, conversation starter. You can describe coming out of that pit. You can describe that journey. You're going to put that content, yes, into courses, but that's also the content that you use to collect your audience. Guys, I doodled this. I love to draw. Let's see if it works. Okay. Oh, I need to rewrite the board. Okay. Thank you, guys. I'll put my little doodles down here so I can remember. Okay. You need to start with, sorry, guys, let me get back in here. We start with our person. Okay. So we've got, it's orange. Okay. Switch the pen around. Okay. There we go. Now it's a pen. I love you guys. Thank you guys for working with me in spite of my nerves and everything else. Remember, guys, I'm literally a mom of 6, and I'm shocked that I'm on the same stage as Matthew McConaughey. Did you guys know he's coming up next? Anyways, okay. I might be fangirling. Okay, you've got your dot. You've got your dot that you're going to connect with. How do we connect with that dot? I have 3 rules. 1, I call them my 3 million rules. My 1 million. 1, I want you to pick something that you can find 1 million people in. So earlier I read somebody, I think it was Linda, who says she does bread. Okay, Linda, there's 1 million people who eat bread. Okay, Lena, who's just a few minutes ago, who talked about makeup. There's 1 million people who put makeup on. So I want you to guess, is there 1 million people? Why? You only need a tiny, tiny little segment of that to be successful. How easy is it to find 1,000 people in that space if there's 1 million people? It's really easy, guys. And here's the deal. You only need 1,000 people in your audience, and you will have a successful business that can replace pretty much any income depending on how you create your values, your offers. Okay? So to get this, you need 1 million people, but I also say something that you can picture $1 million in. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to make $1 million, although that's totally possible, and possible in time that you can't even imagine, totally possible. But in addition to that, having an audience of picturing $1 million means you can just have, say, $50,000 of that million. How easy is it to get 100 sales, which would make $50,000 for Lena? How easy is it to get 100 sales if the pot's $1 million? Pretty easy, right? Okay, then the next one is 1 million minutes. Something that you could spend 1 million minutes working on, and that you love so much that you'll spend 1 million minutes on it. Because if you're building a business, guys, you should like the business that you're building. Okay, so those are my 3 rules. Once we have those rules, the next thing that we want to do, sorry guys, I'm trying to figure it out. I tried to have it ahead of time. Okay, the next thing we want to do is find our perfect person. And once we find our perfect person, we are going to ask them to find the other perfect people for us. Our perfect person knows at least 3 to 4 other perfect people. So right now, you know who your perfect person is. And if you don't know who they are, everyone else does. So I love to use something called a sifting question. I like to post a sifting question to help my audience, help me find my audience. So earlier I told you Jessie George. You could go into the Thrive community, search her name, and you'll find she did some sifting questions in the group. Who here does low carb? I'm trying to find you my low carb people. I'm going to create a program. I'm guessing I'm speaking for her. I haven't had a conversation with her, so I don't know. I'm speaking for her. I'm going to find all my low carb people. So she's doing that in the group. And then she says, hey guys, so we have a series. The first one is post a sifting question. You'll post a question to get them to respond, your perfect people to respond. The whole purpose of that is not to get engagement. It's not to sell your stuff. It's just to find who your perfect person is. You're trying to find this person right here. You're trying to find this person. Who is this person? You don't know yet. You will only find them when you post a sifting question. And they self-identify, yes, I'm low carb too. I'm creating a program about low carb. Maybe we can team up together and make bonuses for each other. Okay, so you're going to post a sifting question. After that, then you're going to interact. Okay, guys, this is a fun one. How many of us post a question on a Facebook group, and then we think we need to interact to every single piece of content, every single person that responds? Because if we don't do that, we're being rude. And next thing you know, we look like we're at a wedding reception line. We're going, hi, you, hi, you, hi, you. And then we might even get in trouble with Facebook because Facebook really doesn't like repetitive comments. And so then we're not able to comment anymore, and we feel like we did something wrong because, well, we did something wrong. Okay, we want to interact, but we don't want to interact like a wedding reception line. How many of you have seen people who post, guys, I am so guilty of this because I barely work on my business anymore because we have it all automated and it's beautiful and it's awesome and amazing, but I've got questions that are scheduled for the next 9 weeks and I don't know what they are. They just go out into the world. And supposedly I'm supposed to get online, and I do. I get online for one, so people who think I'm on social, I have over 4 million followers across 6 different social platforms. 6 different properties. By them, like 2 pages here, one group there, etc. I have over 4 million followers, and I work on my social media 1 song a day. So it doesn't take a lot of time. But sometimes I don't even do that 1 song, or I forget the song, whatever. And so my point in that is you don't need to interact a ton. You turn on a song. While that song is playing, you go and you engage on that piece of content. I engage up to 5 times per post. What this does is it tells the algorithm that that piece of content's important, and it's important for me to be involved in. Now, I'm going to interact on it by giving it a thumbs up. Like somebody's comment, a thumbs up. I might interact on it by giving a question back. I might interact on it by tagging somebody who left a comment and tagging somebody else and bringing them into a conversation together. Those are ways to interact. After I interact, the next thing I want to do is put them into an interest list. Now, Facebook, this is one of those features that comes and goes. Right now, I tested it, and it is still here on desktop. So on desktop, I become a friend with that person, and then once I'm their friend, I'll put them into a list of all similar people. So after I've interacted with them on the post, I'll also interact with their profiles because I'm telling Facebook that this person and me are alike. So next time I post about my low-carb recipes, I want to make sure this person sees that content. Okay, so we're tricking the algorithm. We're using the algorithm to work in our favor. How many of you already have one person that you know is your perfect audience? They're not your customer yet, but you know they would be, okay? You've got one person. Next, all you have to do is post your sifting questions because they're going to find the other people for you. And as those people engage, you're going to interact. You're going to leave comments. You're going to give it a thumbs up. You're going to tag. You might share. As you interact, Facebook's going to see that and going to drive that content to more and more people. Guys, it's so, so cool to see this happen in real life. Like one of my students, he started with me, and it took him 9 months to kind of figure out his messaging. How many of you guys are slow turtles? I called him my slow turtle. I do love him to pieces. He took a long time to grow his content, and then he figured out his messaging. And just last week, no, 2 weeks ago, it was 10 days ago, David of Food and Service, he runs a food blog for Weight Watchers. David was able to reach 31 million people. 31 million people. How did that happen? That happened. So cool, guys. I know. Okay, so people who say Facebook is dead, no. That you have to pay to play, no. That it's only on TikTok, no. He doesn't have his face on it, guys. Nobody knows it's him. He's hiding, just like I want to sometimes. So, guys, if he can do it right now without ads, you guys can do it too. And this is the process that happens. So what do you need to do? The last thing is entice. Now notice, guys, I did an acronym. P-I-E. All you want is a piece of the pie, right? The piece of the dot. You want that piece of the million? You want your little sliver of that pie? How do you get your sliver of that pie? It's easy. You already have what you need to do that. You already have people that follow you on your Facebook page, in groups that you're in. You're going to post a sifting question. You're going to interact with those people. Then you're going to entice them. The best example Jessie gave is I have this week of recipes for low-carb people. Who wants it for free? She posted that. She's getting people over into her program. Now, that's how easy it is. As easy as she said, get it for free, she could have said, who wants it, and left off the amount. And she could begin selling right now her recipe plan today. And in Project Next, learn how to build it. And you saw how fast you can build a program with like their system, their software. Like literally they did it in 12 minutes. So let's assume you guys are slowpokes and it takes you 2 hours. You could be done by tonight, okay? Okay, maybe not tonight if they don't have it open yet for tonight, but you know what I mean, guys, okay? My point is you want to post a sifting question. So some of those questions might be, you know you're a graphics designer when, okay? Where are all the crazy moms who have kids who love chess? Because you're going to teach a chess course. Where are all the people who have their own starter in their house and you're going to have a fermenting your food course? Whatever that thing is, you're going to post your sifting question and find who those people are. You're going to interact with them. And guys, I do it with a song. I turn on a song when the song plays. Guys, I got 6 kids. I don't have time. I gotta hustle if I want to get something done. And I got to do it quickly. Song's on, I post, song ends, I get off. It doesn't have to be a wedding reception line. You don't need to comment to every single person. You can do it in literally a song a day. And then don't forget, you have to entice them forward. The whole purpose of this is to sell and to serve and to make a difference. And what's possible is 31 million. And you don't even need 31 million. You only need your tiny little sliver of the pie, right? Okay, guys. Thank you guys so much for having me today. I still can't believe that I've gotten to come back and be here with you guys. I hope that you will join me in Project Next, where you can outline your whole program. So you know how we talked about that series from where you are now and where you're going and how you're going to create that content to create that journey, those stages of progress, and also those stages of content. That's what you have inside Project Next. And I believe so firmly in it that I've got not 1, but 2 classes that we've added into it. 1, how to find that first person. Because some of you are probably saying, I don't actually have anyone that follows me that's my future customer. Well, I'm giving you a class on how to find your first 100 people without ads. And then how do you and then after you have your first 100 people, how do you grow those 100 engagements to become millions? People seeing you engaging, because I know you're meant for a massive impact. And okay, guys, thank you for having me today. Dean, oh my word! Dean, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you, everybody. Thank you, guys.
Wow. Give her some love in the back. You can feel her nervous energy, can't you? Didn't she do amazing? All right. So, who got something out of that? Raise your hand if you got something out of that. Here's the cool part. We give speakers 20 minutes because this is a challenge. We promise you 2 hours a day. We kind of go 3 hours a day sometimes. So we're condensing it. That's why we do a world set. I know, Jasmine, sometimes 4 hours. I know. I saw you, right? But that's why we do the World Summit, which is 10 hours a day. We don't have to have her go so quick. And Brendan got off stage last night and he's like, you can't do me 20 minutes ever again, right? So Rachel just fit a strategy in 20 minutes. She had to tell a little bit about herself so you understood it. And here's the thing. She's so humble. That woman's killing it. like crushing it, killing it right now. I see you raising your hand, Nancy and Veronica. She's crushing it and doing such an amazing thing. 4 million followers. Her businesses are doing amazing. And she started with this process. Now, what I hope is when you see something like that, you get a glimpse of what's possible. Don't get overwhelmed and go, no, I don't know what that means. The second part of how do I make them on the engaged list? That's why it's so awesome that Tony and I get to have some dear friends, right? And when we not only ask them to come, they want to serve. So you get, those of you that are in Project Next, you'll get 2 of her courses. One she just added today with our team, one that's in there right now in the experts corner. Anytime you want to go, that strategy she just shared, you get all of it. It's not a 20-minute trying to go as fast as you can. You guys are going to freak out. So all of you with red screens, you get 2 courses from her as well during the challenge. Pretty cool? And those of you that don't have the red screen, you're going to want to get it. So a couple quick things here. I just love for you guys to, and one more thing I want to share. That's one viral strategy on how to find people, how to find your ideal client, people that want your dot. There's multiple strategies that we teach inside Project Next. And you're going to find the one, and we're going to go through, you find the one that fits you first. And I'm going to encourage you, especially those that are beginning, you go in one deep. You might go, oh, that strategy Rachel's got, that's all me. Go all in on that. Start getting momentum. And that's why I call it a wagon wheel. That's one spoke of the wheel that drives people to you. And that starts working. You go, okay, I'm going to take this Instagram strategy, or I'm going to take this networking strategy, and you just do one thing at a time. Patience, Kaizen. That makes sense? And I know some of you might be a little like, that was great, but a little fast. But at least you could see what's possible. So excited. I want to, can we give it up for Rachel one more time in the chat? All right, so here's what we're going to do here. It's so funny. So many of you said, can Tanner do that for me? Raise your hand if you'd like Tanner to make your site for you, right? Here's the cool part. You kind of do get Tanner. Because inside Mastermind, the software that does that, Tanner's got videos through the entire course helping you build so you can get that done in maybe it'll take you a half hour. He helped create the whole thing. And by the way, Tanner's my nephew, which is pretty cool. Is my sister's son. But that's not why he's got the job. He'd have it anyway. But thank God he's awesome, because then I didn't want the nephew just like stick in the corner. He's amazing at what he does. And he helped craft this, and it was such an intricate part, and he trains you all the way through. So those of you in Project Next, when you get to Mastermind, you got his help through the entire thing. And I wanted to share here, in a moment, we're going to have Matthew McConaughey, and it is going to be amazing. It is going to be fun. It is going to be light. You're going to enjoy the heck out of it. Here's what I'd love to do right now. For those of you that have been thinking about, those of you with the red screens, welcome. For those of you thinking about Project Next, I want to encourage you. Yes, I love this program, and I don't want you to miss it. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break. Don't go yet. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break, get water, get a juice, come back, and we'll be rocking and rolling with Matthew McConaughey. But what I want to remind you of, and I'm not going to go through all the slides, but if you could pull this up, I want to remind you that because we're very fortunate, not only do you get Project Next, our brand new course, the 6 weeks of live coaching, 3 months on the Mastermind platform with Tanner helping you, the World Summit virtual event. You love this for 3 hours a day. We're going to go 10 hours. We're going to go deep. I just asked Brendan to come speak at it because he's so good, and he's got a 90-minute presentation he's dying to share. That event is off the charts. You got the Mastermind community. You got the Experts Corner, which, remember, you get 2 courses from Rachel Miller. You get Alex Hermosi. You get Maya, which will blow your mind. You get Barry on how to speak, Cole on how to do live calls. I mean, the trainings that are in this Experts Corner, for those of you, the course is worth it just for that. And, of course, the money-back guarantee. You get my extra bonus on my Success Library. I wanted to add Rachel's new course that she's adding. It's called Viral Funnels. That's how to go from 1 to 10 to 100 to how she got to 1 million. It is an unbelievable course. She sells this course. She included it for us because she likes to serve Tony and I and you guys, and she cares. You got Russell's course that he talked about yesterday. That was amazing. That's a bonus. You have Brendan's Marketing Mastery, which Brendan is unbelievable. And here's what I said yesterday. I want to say it again. The main course is what you need to focus on. I mean this. I want you to hear me. All these extra bonuses is because Tony and I have great friends, and they want to serve, and they want to give you some of their best stuff, and they want to introduce themselves to you, right? But use those, think of those as like Christmas presents, right? They're over on the side. I'm going to encourage you, when you enroll, start the course. Module 1, oh my God, it's a module you go through for the rest of your life. And maybe you don't want to start till after the challenge is over, but go through the course first. Make that your number one priority. We start the weekly trainings I think it's next Tuesday, the 12th, whenever the 12th is. Next Thursday, next Friday is our first coaching session like this, but deep dive coaching session, getting ready for the World Summit. Follow that and use all the bonuses, and you're going to get valuable, insane bonuses from our speakers, but keep those as your Christmas presents so you don't get overwhelmed. Can you promise me that? Because the worst thing is when you try too many things at once. We created this site as in a straight line it's going to crush. So here's what we're going to do. We take a 5-minute break. When we come back, we'll have Mr. Matthew McConaughey. It's going to be amazing. In the meantime, why not make a decision? I know this challenge, during the challenge, you can get this price and all these bonuses until the challenge is over. But how cool would it be to come back after the break knowing you're all in? 5 minutes, go enroll, be right back.
Surprise, your perfect light is shining on me. You're like a dream sequence. You're all up in my feelings. I see your picture, something triggers. Now you're stuck inside my head. Get out of my head, please. Get out of my head, please. Oh, oh, oh. And whenever I see you, and whenever I see you, my heart beats like crazy. Stars in your eyes, I know it from the way you make me feel so alive. Like I'm up, up, up on a mountainside, gazing at the night sky, but I'm just looking at the stars in your eyes. You're like supernova, a beautiful explosion. I might get burned if I get close, but I'm down to hold you. Send me to outer space. I'm counting constellations. Our planets collide. You make midnight look like sunrise. You do. Get out of my head, please. Get out of my head, please. Oh, oh, oh. And whenever I see you, my universe it freezes. My heart rate increases. You got stars in your eyes. I know it from the way you make me feel so alive. Like I'm up on a mountainside, gazing at the night sky, but I'm just looking at the stars in your eyes. The stars in your eyes. Oh, the stars in your eyes. Beautiful and so bright. All the stars in your eyes. Yeah, you got stars in your eyes. I know it from the way you make me feel inside. Like I'm up on a mountainside, gazing at the night sky, but I'm just looking at the stars in your eyes. Yeah. Oh, the stars in your eyes. It's beautiful and so bright. All the stars in your eyes. Oh, you light up the night. on the West Coast in the dead of night. We were watching cruise ships gently pass us by. Oh, and I remember gazing at your face in the starry light. Oh, thinking life don't get much better than a night like a night. 'Cause there was no one else I wanted to see. There was nothing else I wanted to do. There was nowhere else I wanted to be than sitting oceanside with you.
What's up? All right, come back. I know we went and got drinks and food and maybe you walked a little bit. If you can hear my voice in the other room, time to come back to the computer. Guys, I have to tell you, how cool is it to take someone like Rachel, who not that long ago was sitting in a seat just like you, and she was in the other room, literally got done, and she's like, oh my God, did I do okay? Did I deliver what they needed? She's so amazing, and just think what's possible. Right? If she didn't step out of her comfort zone, if she didn't take that move, even though the world probably told her you're crazy, you got 6 kids, you don't have time, you don't have money, you can't even go damn bowling, and you're going to start a business and teach people online, you don't have a following. Imagine all the beliefs going on in her head that she had to overcome. And what if she didn't? The success she's had, the women she gets to impact all over the world is unbelievable. I'm so proud of her, and I'm so glad that so many of you are going to get the chance to learn from her. All right, you guys ready for what's next? Step out of your comfort zone. That's right, Donna Wu. Okay, so let me tell you, I'm not going to do a big intro. I'll tell you, we asked Matthew McConaughey to be a part of this because Tony and I both read the book Green Lights. Who read Green Lights or listened to it? Anybody? Kevin, you know what I'm talking about, right? Sarah? Such a good book, like blew my mind because, and I'm not going to give too much away here, but the book is not about him being a celebrity. It's about him seeing, right? I don't want to give too much away here. It's about him seeing green lights in all the areas of life, even when it's a red light, even when you think it's the worst thing. And I don't want to give too much away. When the worst thing in your life, if you look through the lens that it's actually a green light, not even a yellow light, it is a green light. It shifts the way you think. In fact, in my head, when I do certain things, I can hear him saying green light, right? Kevin, you know what I'm talking about. I see you shaking your head, man. He's in here now. It was such a good book. He's entered our industry, and we got some big surprises of things that you might be doing with Mastermind, but we'll keep that as a secret for now. Here's what I want to tell you. Matthew wanted to be here today live, but he's a movie guy, and at the last minute, he got called where he had to be on set today. So we scrambled like crazy, and we moved and I flew to Florida, and we did the interview prior. No one else is going to see it besides you. In fact, the deal I made with Matthew, this is never going to be anywhere. It's an interview no one has ever seen and no one else will see. This is the only day it is allowed to play. So if you're watching it now, in a week from now, this interview will go away for life. It is just yours. And here's something you don't know. For the last couple days, Matthew's been watching. In fact, he's been in some of your Zoom rooms. You didn't even know. How cool is that? But today, he's on set. He's working. He couldn't be here. But this interview is just for you. This is Tony and I, and it is absolutely unbelievable. The only place you're going to see it is here. So watch this. Get into the moment. Comment away. I'm going to be sitting here watching with you, and we'll be back in a little bit. Without further ado, Matthew McConaughey.
All right, Matthew. As you know right now, the man you're about to meet, Matthew McConaughey, is a man we're really privileged to share with you. He doesn't need an introduction because he's been in the business more than 30 years. He starred and appeared in more than 50 movies, including Dallas Buyers Club, Lincoln Lawyer, Interstellar. The list goes on and on. But what's equally important is he's not only an Academy Award-winning actor, Golden Globe-winning actor, but today he's entered the self-education industry with a #1 best-selling book called Green Lights. And we're damn glad he did, because this book will transform your life. And we've asked him to join the challenge here because he too is taking that first experience of figuring out his own life experience, figuring out how to share it in really deep and profound ways that touch people's lives. So his book started from his journals, diaries he's been writing since he's 14, and he just went through it, and he's one of the best storytellers. And so it's an opportunity for you to really see how you can generate the impact in other people's lives just by sharing your own stories. Dean?
Yeah, it's so great to have you here, Matthew. And everyone, this is such a treat because
We're here this week talking about entering or scaling inside the self-education industry, selling what you know, impacting other people. And we all knew Matthew McConaughey from all his incredible movies, all the way back to Dazed and Confused with the all right, all right, all right, and we mess it up. Sorry, Matthew. But what I love more than anything is now he's entered our industry, the one we've been talking about all week, the one Tony started 45 years ago, I started 25 years ago because of this guy. And we get to share our life experiences, our mess that becomes our message, our journeys, our skills, our habits, our hobbies. We get to share that with others, impact their lives, and create a career around it.
Matthew, we all love your films. You're an extraordinary human being, but reading your story, I didn't read it. I listened to it on audio, and you embody it. You're the greatest storyteller. It made me, I thought I had a crazy life till I listened to yours. It really helped me understand. My first question is, Green Lights really seems to be about finding a roadmap to finding the gift in whatever life brings you. And usually that gift in your story seems to happen after you've been through a yellow or red light, a really tough time. So I'm wondering if you might just share one incident, one example of where it looked like the worst situation, but it turned out to be the best, just give people a little flavor. And then in addition, I'd love to know how does it feel for you today to know that your stories are changing people's lives?
Yeah, let me answer that the second half first. I wrote the book, I put it out. It was very personal. I believed in it. I thought it could be applicable and people could see themselves in it. And I had no idea that 2 years later I'd still be talking about it. I had no idea that so many people would be coming up to me going, hey man, I saw my stories in your story.
Yeah.
I saw your life in my life. So all of a sudden I got that exchange. Now I started to feel the reciprocity. Yeah. Oh, it was a very personal story, but it was plural. It spoke to humanity.
Yes.
I had some people come to me and go, look, I thought I was stuck, or I was in a red light, and I found out, and I kind of noticed I kind of liked it. I kind of hung out there for too long, and you kind of kicked me in the backside and said, get out of here. You don't have to be stuck here. I've took some pause at some yellow lights in my life where I was having trouble, and instead of running that yellow light and repeating the same problem again, you reminded me to, hey, I'm going to take a minute. I'm actually going to stop and make this a red light because I got to do I got to renegotiate my way forward. I'm hearing that back from people. And that sort of reciprocity is what is so much fun to me that I didn't know was going to happen. Didn't expect, but I'm sure I'm glad it did happen. Look, a red light for me. Well, look, I mean, I'll go, let's go all the way to the hard one. My dad dying.
Wow.
That's a real red light. We've all experienced that. We have a loved one that moves on. And I went through my mourning stage and still do sometimes, but there was an obvious gift came out of that. I was acting like the man I wanted to be when he was still alive because I knew he had my back. I knew if something happened, if I failed, he was there to catch me. He was a safety net. So when he moved on, all of a sudden the world got flat. I didn't have that safety net. And I said, you better quit acting like what your dad taught you to do, and you better start living it. Yeah. You better get a little more courage there, buddy boy, talking to myself in the mirror. And I sobered up, so to speak, and became less impressed with things in life and even things maybe I pulled off, and I became more involved.
Yes.
Got much more courageous with his passing on. So there was a green light in the red light of him dying.
Yes.
And so, you know, that's a hardcore one, but it didn't belittle the crisis at all, but there was a gift in it.
Yes. And in that pattern, where did you start to notice that pattern for the first time? I mean, I listened to the book and heard some of the earliest stories in Australia and so forth. When did you first start realizing, you know, these yellow lights, these red lights are just a chance for me to figure out what's real, what's true, what I really value, what I stand for, and then move forward?
Well, let's take that Australia story, for instance.
Yes.
That was a year of a living hell. I lost my grief. I was losing my mind. I was stuck in the middle of nowhere going, what makes sense, right? But as I tell you in the beginning of that story, I'd made a handshake deal that I was not coming back for a year. So that was non-negotiable. So once that was non-negotiable, I was like, well, I got to get relative with my situation here. Part of it for getting a relative of me was denying that I was losing my mind, was denying that the family I was with maybe was a little bit off. I was like, no, cultural differences. I'll just keep making an excuse here to keep my head above water. And I had a hunch in my gut. There's a prize here. You endure this. There's a gift on the other end if you just endure this. And so I believed in that. I trusted in that. And I honestly, I didn't conjure it up intellectually. It was more than an intellectual exercise. I had a hunch in my gut. There's something to this penance I'm paying right now.
Yes.
And what was there? Did I come back, talk about coming back home with more courage and dealing with certain, what I used to deem as problems before then, coming back from that year going, oh, this is not a problem. I'm not giving this trauma credit. We can handle this. Trust me, you don't know where I just came from. I took my licks. You know what I mean? And you know, I didn't lose any, I think, sensitivity in that or compassion in that, but I did sober up to that I myself even had created drama that was unnecessary before then, and don't give drama.
The whole idea of not
credit.
Getting what you want sometimes gets you what you need, right? And that's, you dug in, you had no distractions, you had no women, you had no beach, you had crazy people. My favorite part of the story is when everybody laughed at the end who were part of that community knowing what you've gone through.
It was a prank. It was a big joke on me. I was like, are you guys kidding me?
The funny thing about that is the Dooleys will stick in my head forever, so thank you for that, right? But the funny thing is, it's in hindsight, when we get a little older, we can look back and see the blessing. The gift is being at an age or a time where you listen, where you can enjoy it or appreciate the lessons while you're in it. Right? And that's why I love what you wrote, Matthew, because especially coming from someone, you know, you've done so many amazing things, and I love everything you've done. I've watched so many of your movies, but this one impacted me the most because it'll last with me forever, right? There, even in my own head, some days I'm like, oh, green light. I'm like, thank you, Matthew McConaughey, right? and I want to share something, and this is personal probably because I have 3 kids with a 4th one on the way. And we grew up a little different. One of the reasons Tony and I, one of our many reasons we're so close is family is so important. And I know that family and being a good dad is so important to you and why you chose to live where you live and a lot of the decisions you make. But let's face it, you, because we know your story, we grew up a lot different than how our children are growing up, right? And those green lights, that philosophy of appreciating what could go sideways and learning through it and appreciating that as much as when things go right. How do you personally help share that with your kids, right? The old saying, a prophet's never welcome in their hometown, right? I'd love to know what your thoughts are there.
Isn't that true? How many times you're sitting around the house and you're going, well, are we not getting through to them? And then they go stay with somebody else and they come back and the other people they stay with like, we're perfect. We're like, can you guys keep that up when you get back home here, man?
Exactly.
You know, what is that thing that we all need to learn that some of us don't learn till later, but it's something we learn in adulthood. And I don't think there's a time that's ever too early to learn it. So this is what I'm trying to get across. Delayed gratification.
Yes.
Yeah.
Value of delayed gratification. Making an investment. Making a choice that's going to affect the consequences of your future, good or bad. Get your chores done on Friday afternoon and your homework done. Why? I got all weekend. Yeah, but you know what? Sunday, we're probably going to be playing a game in the backyard. Come 4 o'clock, you don't want to have to be called in the middle of the game to come do your doggone homework. If you get it out of the way, you're free.
Yeah.
Things like that. Trying to teach them that there's something even more. Responsibility really becomes powerful, really becomes freedom when it becomes a choice.
Yes.
Yes,
that's
for sure.
Not because I got to do it, because, oh, yeah, I'm doing it because I want to do it, or the want to meet our need. You know, and talk about the world they're living in now that's different than the world we lived in. This new frontier, wild frontier of social media, you know, teaching them what matters and what doesn't. Where does quantity equal quality and where does quantity not equal quality? Teaching them that, hey, what you post is going to outlive you. It's immortal. Try not to get your sense of identity and self-esteem from other anonymous people out there that really don't know you. And then, you know, through that, you know, defining what failure is, what it's not. The world tells us failure is something different than it really is. Y'all know this. Y'all preach it. The effort, the risk, and the adventure to strive to be our better self. If you're not failing, you're not seeking enough resistance. You're not dipping your leg into chaos enough to overcome something. So trying to teach them that's part of it. And I have a son who's very much a perfectionist like I am. And we talk about it a lot, about going, we're never going to reach it. You know that, right, buddy? We're never going to reach it. Just keep on trying and see how many staircases we can climb by the end. You know what I mean?
You know what's so good about this is it doesn't matter if I shared the same exact stuff. I'll just play this clip for them in private because it'll come from you, and they'll be like, "See, Dad? I'll just do what he said," like, and that'll be fine. That'll be fine with me.
Listen, you know, it's so amazing. You know, I have so many friends in the movie business and so forth, and we get stopped. They get stopped to take a picture or say whatever it is. But they're always struck by people saying, you changed my life. And you're experiencing that now because you've entered in, you've had a vulnerability that you've shared beyond what you've done on the screen, personal vulnerability. And that takes courage. And there are so many people here that are part of this challenge that have a dream or they have a goal or they have something they want to share, but they don't trust it. And so many people overanalyze, they overthink. And now we have these phrases that have become popular, like the imposter syndrome. Oh, I'm not as good as I think I am. Well, everybody feels that way, right? So I'm curious, you know, you've taken some ballsy moves, and we both know decisions are what shape your life, right? You've made those tough decisions. What's given you the courage to do that at various times like that? What's giving you the confidence or the courage? And what would you advise to someone who doesn't feel like they have that right now? I remember one time I saw a film, I don't even remember what it was, but they said, can't imagine what you accomplished with just 7 minutes of courage, 7 seconds of courage, I think it was, from some film. But where do you get that from, and what would be your advice to those that are hanging on the edge because they don't think they're good enough to get started? They're missing that piece.
Okay. First thing I think is this. I've found that a lot of times it's not as important of which choice you make. Just damn it, make one.
Yes. Yes.
It's gonna move the needle. It's gonna reveal itself to be right or wrong. Make one. We sit here in limbo. Days go by, weeks go by, months go by, decades go by, lifetimes go by, and we're in limbo going, well, I never give it. Again, back to that failure. Okay, it's a wrong choice. Great, that became clear. I had to get rid of what was the wrong choice. How do we know if we're going to be right if we're not wrong sometimes? Go, just make the choice. For me personally, I do not like not knowing. Even what I don't know. I want to know what I don't know, okay? I regret not knowing, and that will keep me up at night. So you're going to take the bet, take the dare. You got a 1 in 3 odds of succeed. You don't go for it. Don't give it a shot. You're not going to know. That's the one. That's the bane for me. I don't like that. That's fine. That's a failure. You go for it and you fail, but you know. Like that one's even better than the first one.
Yeah.
And then the third one is you go for it and you succeed and you know. I will take 2 and 3, going for it and fail. Okay, at least I know. I can look in the mirror and go, yep, that was on me. Or I can go for it and go, yes, I succeeded. That was on me.
Yeah.
I can deal with those two. It's the not knowing that will keep me up at night. And me going, I wonder what if. I mean, when I got challenged to that wrestling match in Africa, that story in the book. The guy Michelle I was like, I'm out of my league. I'm over my skis here, bud. But as I was looking at him going, oh my gosh, no way. In the other ear, I immediately was hearing, you got to, buddy. This is at least going to be a great story to tell. And so I found myself getting up. While I was going, are you kidding me? Don't be an idiot. This is, so I just I don't like not knowing. I would have regretted not knowing. And you see all the stories that follow that story in the book. Look at all the grace and beauty I would have missed if I wouldn't have taken that challenge.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been walked to the next village after that wrestling match by that wrestler. 5 years later, returning, the same guy walked me to the next village 15 miles old man. I wouldn't have had all some of the major beauties of my life if I would not have accepted that challenge in that moment.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and there's nothing more liberating than taking it all on us, right? I win or I lose based on my efforts, right? And there's a word I've been using since the pandemic shifted a lot of people's mindset, and Tony's been so amazing on pushing the world to come out of that comfort zone, but I love the term uncomfortable action. Like, our best stuff has always come after the action that's the most uncomfortable, right? And you said something in the beginning of the book. You said, why write a book? And you said, help the generations with the truth of the past. Right? I thought that was so cool. And that's what we're doing here today with this challenge. We have hundreds of thousands of people from over 150 countries all over the world thinking about, hey, can I take my experience and share it with others? And here's the question I have for you. Sometimes people are forgetting the value of their journey, the value of their failures, the value of their skills, the value of the nightmares and the wins. So it's a two-part question. The first one's kind of easy, is how valuable would it be if you could go back and spend a day with your 20-year-old self? I think that's probably an easy answer. But then the second thing, if you could only share one thing, what would you share with your 20-year-old self?
Don't try and grow up too fast, buddy. It's coming. It's coming. Keep looking ahead, but enjoy what you have and what you don't have right now. Trust that truth that you know inside you at 2 a.m. when you're alone in bed. Trust that. Believe that, even though you're not seeing it advertised anywhere else. And then can you have the courage to get up in the morning and when the lights are on and go engage in the world and walk as an autonomous man going, yep, I'm part of the world, but I got something that's mine, and I'm going to believe in it. Because, we go where those truths cross us, and we know they're true. They're engraved.
Yes.
They're solar powered. They're going to outlive us. And then we go back and we get on with our life, and slowly they're not engraved. They're kind of written in pen, and then slowly they're written in pencil, and then slowly they're kind of fading away. And you look up 6 months later, and you're like, what happened? Where'd my compass go? The one I knew. Oh, I lost it because no one else, the world wasn't supporting it. The world wasn't advertising it with me. Maybe the world didn't even get it.
Yeah.
It wasn't for them to get. It was yours. I would tell myself, trust that.
Yeah.
Believe in that.
So powerful. And isn't self-doubt cumulative? Like, you don't have that 2 o'clock in the middle of the night vision and go, I'm going to do it. And then the next morning you go, no, it's not good. You just go, I'm going to tell my friend. And your friend goes, I think that's crazy. And you tell your mom and she thinks you're nuts. And then you watch the news and we're going to hell in a handbasket. And all of a sudden these little things stack up and then the scale just goes dink.
It's also just lack of momentum, right?
And then the momentum's gone.
Yeah,
and then the momentum's gone. And you're right, 5 years later, 10 years later, at the end of your life, you look back and say, what the hell happened? And I love what you said before. You just want to know. Like, don't you just want to know the life you could have lived? I heard somebody say this once, and it stuck with me. They said, imagine at the end of your life, you get to meet your maker, and he pulls out his iPhone and says, hey, before you go, I just want to play you the video of the man you could have been. I think about that all the time. I want him to go, damn, you crazy bastard. Right?
Oh, please, wouldn't that be awesome?
Matthew, recently, actually at Christmas, my family found an old journal of mine from when I was 16 years old. And it was about my notes from a book I was reading at the time. And then I listened to your book and saw The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino was a book you got while you were in law school. And I know that first scroll, those 10 scrolls, today I begin a new life. And I was reading my notes about it. And so I know you wrote this whole book from all your journal notes. So tell me just first, if you would, how did that book affect your life? Because all these people are right now, they're reading books, they're experiencing things. And now here you are, you read that book and changed your life. Now you're writing this book changing people's lives. So tell us the full circle of that if you don't mind.
So that was a time in my life where I was at the University of Texas between my sophomore and junior year. Right about that time where you can't just keep taking all liberal arts credits to go, I'm not sure where I'm going. You got to kind of get specific. And I'm thinking I'm going to go to law school. But I'm not really sleeping too well with that idea of educating me, staying in school for all of my 20s and getting out and actually having an imprint in society in my 30s. And so I've been writing, I've been creating, I've been doing a little acting, performing, but that idea where I grew up was like, oh, are you kidding me? That's too avant-garde. Yeah, you can do that on Saturday, maybe a hobby, but that's not a job. Well, as things happen, that book found me. My spider senses, my receptors, my empath was wide open. I was looking for a sign. I was open for a truth bomb to hit me. And that book found me. Like I wrote in the book, I'll watch any sports on TV. I'll watch the strongest man competition. and I put on ESPN that day. I had 2 hours before my test. I was uninterested for whatever reason. I had Sports Illustrated. I would always like to read. Not today. I didn't want to read them. There was a stack of Playboys. At the time, I enjoyed looking at women in Playboys. For whatever reason, I thumbed through that and put those down that day. And on the bottom of that stack was this little white book with red cursive writing that said "The Greatest Salesman in the World." And I went, well, who the hell is that? Opened it up. Start a new life today. Scroll 1, I will form good habits and become their slave.
That's right.
Just when I hit that, I'm like,
Son of a bitch.
I got to go take my test. Can I take this book with me? My buddy said, yeah, you can have it. My dad gave it to me. I'm giving it to you. I dove in. It found me at a time where I needed it. It gave me the courage to go, I am going to take my own path.
Yes.
Gave me to take the ownership of my own destiny. Start making a choice that, again, was not a popular choice. That call to my father to tell him I wanted to go to film school instead of law school, which that book, Greatest Salesman in the World, gave me the courage to make. I was sweating during that call. Now, my dad ended up giving me great advice and saying the most beautiful words he ever could to me when I said, Dad, I want to go to film school instead of law school. He says, you sure you want to do that, son? I said, yes, sir. And he paused. He goes, well, don't half-ass it. Talk about choice over responsibility. He gave me more than privilege. He gave me freedom with a kick in the ass. He said, get it on, buddy. I did not expect that. It was so awesome. But that book is what gave me the courage to make that choice and then make that call to my father. So it found me at a time where I needed it, and it became a compass to me. And as you know, it takes 10 months to read, and I've done it 3 times. Now, maybe time to do it again.
That's awesome.
Well, Matthew, this has been amazing. Thank you for being with us here. I have one last thing. You know, in the book, you said you'd love the opportunity for people to go to Mars without being in a spaceship, and go to church without having to be born again. I love that. I love your bumper stickers, by the way. The bumper stickers stick for life. Damn good. Here's what I wanted to ask. Your story, though, your career, 55-plus movies, I think, and I think I've seen most of them. Amazing career. But I have to be honest with you, if you were just Matthew McConaughey, the lawyer, or anyone, and you wrote this book, it would have impacted my life the same way. You touch the human condition. And it doesn't matter. This is our lives. We get to speak every day. We work on this every day, but still learning from another person's perspective. Your journey has helped my journey and hundreds of thousands of other people. So today, we have people watching right now, again, from 150 plus countries, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people, and they're thinking about making this shift or going deeper, and maybe they want to create a course or create a coaching program or write a book like you, but they're thinking to themselves, yeah, I'd love to do it, but I'm not Tony Robbins, I'm not Matthew McConaughey. What would you say to that person today that's thinking, I want to make that move, but I'm not sure?
Right. Heard. So it's got to be personal.
Yes.
It's got to be personal.
Yes.
But my North Star when I went to write the book for me was, okay, I understand the currency I have coming in here is Matthew McConaughey, whatever celebrity that brings, et cetera, et cetera. Some people are going to read this damn book if it's awesome. Some people are going to read this damn book if it sucks. They're just going to read it anyway because I am who I am. Okay. Can the words on these pages be worthy of sharing if it's signed by anonymous and at the same time be a book that only I could have read?
Wow.
That was
That's cool. Yeah, I love that.
So, you know, art and self-expression. All art is self-expression, but not all self-expression is art. All self-expression was art, then every teenager's diary would be worthy of being measured against Shakespeare. It's not.
Right.
So it's got to be personal. But then can it be plural? Can it be something that can be about the humanities? Where I said earlier, can somebody see their story in your story? We've all got each other in us. It's just different. The language is the same. We just changed the vocabulary and name it. We can all, you know, I tell that story in the book about me purging 4 hours of confession for my friend, Brother Christian, this monk. And at the end, you know what his advice was?
I remember.
Me too. If we can tap into that plural about this human thing we're all going through, we're all trying to navigate through.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Maybe that's part of the sense of it. Navigate, just knowing that we're not alone and sharing our personal story, and someone comes and says, yeah, hey, me too. There's that reciprocity.
Yeah.
So it's going to be self-expression, make it personal, but can it be art? And the art would be when it translates to the human experience.
Yeah.
So how it could be applicable, how it could translate to the royal we. And that's a beautiful thing when the I, the selfish, equals the selfless.
Yeah.
And the I equals the we and speaks to the we. Because those are interchangeable. We like to make those contradictions, but they're not.
Yeah.
Don't believe so.
Yeah, amazing. And thank you again for spending this time with us today, because at the end of the day, Tony and I always talk about when you have life experience, it's almost selfish not to share the journey, because you're going to bridge the gap for somebody. And it doesn't mean it's going to bridge the gap for everyone, but there's someone going through your experience. You're already on the other side. And if you have the opportunity to share it, you get to allow them to go faster.
It allows us to close the gap, right? My whole life was always, I can learn by my own experience, and that's wonderful, and those are the most powerful ones very often. But if I can learn by other people's experience, maybe I can compress decades into days. And to me, the escape was books, just like yours. It was like, I grew up in a pretty tough environment, but I could suddenly be projected to Emerson. I could be projected to think about somebody who's, in a concentration camp, and somehow I'm finding the will to live still, Viktor Frankl. Those experiences, we all have them at different levels, but you really shared it in just such a beautiful way. We just want to thank you for sharing the vulnerability, the truth, the honesty. It's just so refreshing, Matthew. You're an extraordinary actor, but you're an even more extraordinary soul. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for inspiring everybody here.
My pleasure. I want to ask you too, I want to thank you for quite a few things, but real quickly, you gave me a new word. I thought I was a plagiarist. You told me, and no, I'm a reporter. Thank you.
That's awesome. It's true. Well, that's what we can all do. That's the other thing for people. Some people, they know somebody has the answers. Well, share what you learned from that person. It doesn't have to just be your own. And when that starts happening, usually it happens to people, they start to realize they have answers inside themselves. It's like learning to play the piano. You play other people's patterns, and then one day you wake up and you go, okay, now there's me. How do I come through this? And you do that in so many ways, but your storytelling is extraordinary. I mean, it is the art of how we've influenced values throughout human history. It's just telling stories. And you're one of the very best. I'm not saying that to blow smoke your way. And we recommend your book to everybody, and hopefully you'll put a course together for people also to go a little deeper if they want to. But we've really enjoyed this immensely.
I did too. Thank you all for the inspiration, man.
Thank you, Matthew. Thank you so much, Matthew. Take good care of yourself. Blessings to you and your family.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Give it up in the chat for Matthew McConaughey, guys. Was that awesome or what? All right. That was one of my favorite interviews ever. And the cool part is when the cameras, when we were done filming, because we wanted to keep in that 20-minute zone, we talked for another half hour. What an awesome dude. What a good, genuine man, and one of my favorite interviews ever, and I'm so glad to share it. That is for you guys. As you can tell, we wanted to make that special for you. A couple of things. I want to share these takeaways. We only got about 10 minutes stay. We're giving away some cool stuff, and want to let you know about tomorrow. You cannot miss tomorrow, the day all of it comes together. Tomorrow's the day we tie it all together. Tony's coming back. We got another special guest. Tomorrow is all about, and I wrote this down, it's implementation day. Tomorrow is how do we make this real, not just a dream. But I wrote down some takeaways I thought it was important. Tony asked him a great question, and he said, man, just make a choice. Even if you don't make the right choice, make a choice, because so many of us are sitting on our hands. I did an interview, a podcast with a friend of mine, Tom Bilyeu. He's got a great podcast. But he said, in times like these of uncertainty, we're always taught it's fight or flight. He goes, it's the third F. Because people freeze. So let's just see what happens. Man, what is that? How long have you been frozen thinking about your next future? Thinking about your bigger future, your next evolution, doing something. What if this was the time to move through that, to just take an action, make a choice? I love his other answer is what's the biggest regret you could have? He said, I don't like not knowing. That's what keeps him up at night, right? Isn't it that I think I could go into this industry? I think I could serve other people. What would that thought be in 5 years from now if you're still thinking about it? The not knowing is what'll screw you up. I know that. He said, I'd rather try and fail because at least I know, or then even the best thing that could be is try and succeed. Right? So out of 3 choices, I'd much rather try and fail, which you don't have to if you go in, but try and succeed rather than saying, I don't know. I never really went for it. Imagine that, I said it to him and I said it to you guys, like at the end of your life going, imagine seeing the video of the woman you could have been if you would have tried, or the man you could have been if you just tried. So I love that. And then I love when he said, the grace and beauty of that action. He told a story in the book about him he took a sabbatical. He went to Africa and he ended up in tribes. Literally, Matthew McConaughey with a backpack, just going from tribe to tribe. And he gets to a tribe and he makes friends and one of the tribe fighters challenges him to a fight. And he says, yes, that's what we were laughing about. And he said the guy just whipped his butt, right? But he did everything he could. And every time his face hit the dirt, he's like, there's got to be something good in this, right? So he took his lickings, but he talked about the beauty and grace after that. He bonded with that guy because he had so much respect for him for going in a ring with him and fighting him. He walked him to the next village, and next time he saw him, he walked in the village and he said, there's been 1,000 beautiful moments in my life because I took that uncomfortable action. I asked him about uncomfortable action, and he just does that. Ready? We're talking about these red lights that have stopped us for way too long, and some of us are just sitting at the yellow light waiting for it to turn red because we're not sure. What if we started looking at these moments as green lights? Like, why are you here? Are you here for a green light? Are you here for another block? Who's excited about a bigger future in their life right now? Who feels better about their future now than they have in a long time? Then use this as a green light, right? I love this one. Love this. Trust the 2 a.m. voice. Trust the truth, even if it's not advertised. Right? He said, you have that 2 a.m. voice, like, I am doing this. Who had a 2 a.m. voice in the last couple of days that just said, I'm doing this. I don't care what anybody says. Don't care what my family says. I'm doing this. And then you get up in the morning, he said, but then, I love the way his words. He's like, but then it's not advertised to be so popular. And then that voice just starts getting squished, right? Who's brave enough to trust that? The next thing he says, trust your compass. Trust that 2 a.m. voice. It doesn't matter if anybody gets it. It didn't matter when he first started. Nobody got it that he wanted to be an actor, but we trust that now, don't we? Right? And then he said, how about when he said, right here, the book, right? That day, that book called him. And he read that book, and in a moment he knew, right? So many times we think we got to take this long runway to make a shift. What did Glow say? Stop thinking of the plane, think of the helicopter. That day he read that book. He read the first section of the book, the first chapter of the book. He's like, I'm done. I'm not going to be a lawyer. I want to be creative. Right? And then if you read the book, and I had the chance to talk to him about this, the scariest thing about going from being a lawyer to wanting to be in this industry for him, the scariest thing was calling his dad. And he was waiting for his dad to go, you fool, what the hell are you thinking? And he could have said that. And Matthew was prepared for either answer. Who do you need to call? Right? Are you being held back because of that call, or just letting someone know, or letting the public know, or looking in the mirror and say, should we, like, make the call, whatever that call is. Even if it's looking in the mirror, I see a Mary Jane, like Marjane, like, even if you're looking in the mirror, it's like, this is it. We're doing this, right? When he called his dad, and what great answer his dad gave him, right? If you're going to do it, go all in, right? What if you gave yourself permission today to go all in? What if this was your green light moment? Right? What if this is the moment? I wrote that down. What if this is your green light moment to say, I'm going to invest in me. I'm going to invest in my future. I am not going to stay still anymore. I am not going to stay frozen anymore. I am going to take uncomfortable action. I'm going to move forward. I can't handle not knowing if I can do this. I must know if I can. And if I can, I will and I must. That's what moves the needle in life. That's what makes it real. Not being an observer from the stands, but being in the field playing. And that's why Tony and I work so hard to enroll you, to engage you, to get you to move forward, because the only way we can help you is if you take some of the action too. You guys feeling this today? You guys 100% going to be here tomorrow? All right, let's get to a little homework. Today, you know what we covered. Story, teach, action. Just teaching you one of the frameworks on how to make teaching fun, easy, light, and have a little more confidence. Rachel Miller did such a great job of sharing just one social strategy that could start that momentum, right? There's multiple strategies. That's just one. And thankfully, she was so gracious enough to give us a course to help go deeper on that. In fact, 2 of them. Tomorrow is implementation day. Tony will be back tomorrow. We got a special guest, our favorite speaker from last year. That's why we brought her back. She is going to rock your world tomorrow. It's an amazing day. When I start tomorrow, I'm going to tie this all together so we can take the action and make it real. Tony's got a presentation that'll rock your world, so don't dare miss it. Be here live. Homework. You'll see the homework. You know, you go to thrivehomework.com and do it again. Keep me up tonight. Get me up tomorrow morning so I can watch your videos again. And really, you'll see the questions in your homework. 1 to 2 teaching points that you feel. We went through Story Teach Tool. What's a couple things you would teach people in your topic, right? Matthew McConaughey taught green lights, taking uncomfortable action, moving forward. In his book, there's a bunch of great ones. And then number 2 is, what is the scene in your life that could set up the teaching, right? What's a scene in your life? Pick one, right? We went through the makeup with Lena, right? That scene in her life where she was like, she didn't feel pretty on the inside. She was doing her makeup and looked beautiful, but she had to fix the inside. When she got them both to align, oh my God, life changed forever. That's her scene. And that's all she needs to do is tell women that. And then they're going to want to learn those teaching moments. But then go live in the chat. Go live in the Facebook group and just share a little bit of your scene or your story, right? Try to keep it under 2 minutes so I can watch a lot of them, right? So and then hashtag it's time. Right, so you know that it's all inside the Thrive homework. Okay, we got a couple winners today. Could you give me a couple more winners? Let me have 2 more. Pick 2 more people. In fact, I'm going to pick 2 people who've been playing full out today, even though we have 2 people. Let me do this first. We have a $250 Amazon card going to Wanda Fakiod. I hope I said that right. My team, you playing full out, doing your videos, doing your homework. Amazing. AirPods going to Crystal Harrell. You have AirPods going your way. And if you guys could get me a couple more, that would be great. Actually, let's see. How about Renata Silvia? Renata, you've been playing out full out today. We got something cool coming your way. I'll have the team reach out to you. And Robert Newton, dude, you're always playing full out. I see you in the Facebook group. I see you here. Brother, you got something awesome coming. It'll be an iPad or AirPods or an Amazon card. But both of you guys, all this is a little ethical bribe to keep you here all day. Who would have been upset if you missed Matthew McConaughey? And here's what I want to tell you. Tomorrow it all comes together. You got to be here. But don't let tomorrow be the end. I'm serious. Don't let tomorrow be the end of this journey together. We do this because we want this to be the beginning of our journey together. The beginning of taking a bold move, to gaining the capabilities and looking in the mirror and say, we got this. We can do this. And I'm going to repeat number 2 that I loved with Matthew. The not knowing is what's crazy. Don't go through life not knowing that this could be your calling. What if Matthew didn't take that journey? The day he read that book, what if it was Matthew McConaughey, the unhappy lawyer today? Right? Because he didn't hear that. He heard that calling and said, oh, if I call my dad, he's going to be upset. And I already spent all this money and going to law school for 3 years. And I don't know if I'm that good as an actor. What if he let all those voices happen? We never would have had the Lincoln Lawyer and every other movie that he's done. I think I've watched all of them, right? We wouldn't have had them if he would have resisted that calling. He said that call to his dad. He was like, oh, he's going to... We all got that thing. We all got to break through it. That's the hero's journey. The not knowing is what kills us. So I'm going to say tonight, why not go all in? Of course, I'm ethically pushing you because I know what we can do if we collectively work together. Why not join projectnext.com? Why not join tonight so you can wake up tomorrow knowing you're all in? Either way, be here tomorrow on time. It's going to be magical. I appreciate you guys so much. Join projectnext.com. And if you're in, put all in. Maria already did. Put all in, and we'll see you tomorrow. VIP will be here in 10. Bye, guys.
Every time I need a rescue, hanging on the verge of breakdown. Even though I try to replace you, but loneliness makes me break down. Every time I need a rescue, hanging on the verge of breakdown. Waiting for a touch, you say no day. Nothing could really take your place.
One day in, one day out, on top, then you're down. The highs and the lows keep swirling. Walk these streets like you're beat, then rise up to meet the break that you need. It's coming. Just hold on. Hold on, yeah. Lift your eyes off the ground. You've only begun. Rising up through the clouds. No, never give up. Climb on, climb. New York back to LA. It's so hard to stay and rest in one place. Yeah, but I see what you don't, or will where you won't. So don't dare let go. Just hold on. Hold on, yeah. Lift your eyes off the ground. You only begun. Rising up through the clouds. No, never give up. Climb on, climb. You're comparing yourself, it's like a kiss of death. Instead of doing what you're doing, you get caught up in your head. Feet on the road with your eyes on the prize. Inch by inch, one step at a time. You're losing hope when you can't find a way to speed up the timeline. But one day, though it might be a while, it's gonna be worth every mile if you just hold on. Hold on. Hold on, just hold on, yeah. Lift your eyes off the stop beating like you used to. Used to be so numb, but now I'm next to you. You got me feeling some type of way. Was never alone, but always felt so lonely. Was surrounded by, but I was so lonely. But when I met you, my heart turned from stone to gold. And when I'm with you, this feeling I can't control. I never wanna lose this feeling. I'd do anything tonight to lose you. Can't do anything, can't do anything. Baby, I'd do anything for you. From soul to gold, and when I'm with you, this feeling I can't control. Yeah, I never wanna lose this feeling. I'd do anything tonight to lose you. Yeah, I'd do anything. Yeah, I'd do anything. Yeah, baby, I would do anything for you.
Oh,